Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show. Coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around so we talk about our favorite things in the world: movies, movie news, TV shows, streaming, shows in their non-proper aspect ratio, and all sorts of things like that. Little thing we were discussing before the show started. And I'm not alone here today. Sitting over here, back after his big move yesterday, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today?
John, it's great to be back here. You know why? Because if you're a Star Trek fan, everyone knows that April 5th is First Contact Day. That's the day the Vulcans land on Earth, and we meet our first extraterrestrial visitors face to face, as depicted in 1996's Star Trek First Contact.
There's so many things about that statement that bore me.
I fell asleep already.
You know what? This whole day today is all about crushing my spirit. I can tell in here.
Something's happened before the show started. Anyway, also joining us over here, one of the crushers of spirit, the one and the only Ray Ora, joining you guys in the live chat today. Ray, how you doing today?
Hey, I discovered yesterday that Tubi could turn a 2-hour movie into a 3-hour movie.
That's what Tubi can
3
do.
ads back to back to back to back.
And Ray does not like the ad. Sitting beside him, showing up apparently in her sweet new ride.
Yeah.
Chris Carr is here today. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. Rob, I'm not going to yuck your yum. I love how excited you are. I'm so glad you had such a good Star Trek-y day and everything.
It's adorable. I'm kidding.
I know. I did. It was the geekiest day I've had since. Well, every day is geeky, but this was supremely geeky. By the way, John, your favorite movie, your soon-to-be favorite movie.
Oh.
The 4K Director's Edition of Star Trek: The Motion Picture is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I have a hard on right now. It's crazy how excited I am.
Why
about
do I
that.
not believe you?
I know.
You don't think that's his heart?
All I can think about.
Let's get
Anyway, hey guys, we've got an announcement to make that I'm kind of excited about. I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm pretty excited about this. You guys who follow the channel, you might know that a few months ago, back in January, I shared a video on YouTube. You know, we were going around and maybe looking at the opportunity of maybe us actually getting a real office and studio. Not that my converted garage isn't glorious in many different ways, but I thought let's look at some places, and I shared video on the YouTube channel of one of the places we looked at. Well, as I told our channel members yesterday, and hello channel members, thank you for being channel members, guys. We did it. We signed the lease. We are going to be moving out of the cave here, out of the John Cave, and out of the converted garage, and we are going to be moving into actual studio space with offices and everything and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to do that in May. We're going to actually start moving stuff over there. Fact checker Jonathan will start moving stuff over there like April 1st or April 15th, I should say. He's going to start taking some stuff over there. We'll continue to do shows from here for the rest of April. And then in the first week of May, we'll be in some new digs. And oh yeah, like fact checker Jonathan's back on staff full time. He's joining us again, and we're going to be have some more announcements to make in the near future, but very excited, terrified to death about this new kind of expansion and venture. But a big thank you to all of you guys, not only for making it possible by being here and supporting our show, but also for all the encouragement you guys gave when I was first started to share that we were looking at maybe some new space and whatever. And you guys have been great about that. So thank you so much for that. And I will share more information on that when there's more to share.
John, can we call it Starfleet headquarters?
No.
Hey, Bud, remember how before I was saying I supported you? we gotta just reel it in a little.
We got a big sign put in the front door, Starfleet headquarters.
John has told me before, like, the only trouble I get into on the show is when I talk about Star Trek.
Have I said that?
Yeah, you said, Rob, can a day go by?
Yeah, I remember. Yes, I heard, and today was no exception. Every day, before the show starts, we get in here, we do our camera checks, light checks, and every day as we're doing all that, I know that as I'm getting everything ready on the screens, Rob is going to be complaining to either Ray or Chris or both, whoever's here at that time, about something involving Star Trek. And today was no exception. But no, we won't be naming the new office Starfleet headquarters.
Okay.
But it's not the worst idea in the world. I'll give you that.
God, can it be the United Federation of Planets?
No, it would also not be that. Anyway, guys, it's good to have you here. We've got a packed show for you here today, and here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break the show up into two parts. In the first part of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics that we have. Then in the second part of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. How do you get a live comment or question on? It's easy. Simply use the super chat feature in the YouTube live chat that I am turning on right now. So it is now turned on. We will only keep that open until it is full up of the amount of questions get sent in. So you've probably got 5 or 10 minutes to get into a comment or question. We hope you guys will fire that in. Also, don't forget, guys, if you're watching this show during any of the other 22 hours during the day and you'd like to get a question for me or Rob or sometimes both of us, we do a show called Mailbag 3 times a week. We put one up yesterday. And you can get a question on Mailbag for us to answer by simply going down into the description of this video and clicking on the tip link, or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your comment or question right on Mailbag if we deem your comment or question appropriate to be used on our show. And of course, you'll be supporting our channel at the same time. And all of us involved with the show, thank you guys so much for your support. Okay, guys, with that down, let's get into an off the top here, shall we? And the first off the top, and only one today, is this. Now, we know one of the biggest pieces of news in entertainment is the upcoming takeover of Warner Media by Discovery. A phrase that still doesn't sound right.
No.
It still feels like you're sure that's not the other way around. No, Discovery is taking over Warner Media, and this has been coming for some time.
Not the Starship.
No, not the Starship Discovery, but rather Discovery as in Discovery Plus, the Food Network, HGTV, all that stuff, all under the umbrella of Discovery. They are taking over Warner Media, and it looks like the finalization of that is going to be April 11th. So it's coming up in like a week.
That's my mom's birthday.
Well, happy birthday to your mom.
It's so nice she gets these networks.
Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, I'm going to call her up and ask for a job.
There you go.
Let's get us on the...
And here's the thing, though. It was been expected that as a part of this takeover, that the CEO of Warner Media, Jason Kilar, would probably not be keeping his job. There is room but one ass on the throne, and that ass belongs to David Zaslav of Discovery, and he is going to be the Grand Imperial Poobah over there. So we've been expecting that. But today, ahead of that merger, has come news in the announcement that Jason Kilar is out. He sent out his letter of resignation. He sent it out to all the staff of Warner Media and all that kind of stuff. Now, Jason Kilar has a really interesting background with social media stuff. I believe he was one of the co-founders of Hulu, which Hulu is one of my favorite streaming services. So,
Same.
I mean, thank you, Jason Kilar, for that. However, and maybe unfortunately, what Kilar will probably be most remembered for, at least in the immediate upcoming future. Who knows how we'll look back on him 5 years, 10 years down the line with his, short reign at Warner Media. But at least for the next few years, I think when probably people talk about his stewardship of Warner Media, it'll probably all come back down to the decision that in 2021, he almost tanked the entire company by making the decision to take all of Warner Brothers movies in 2021 and put them straight onto streaming on HBO Max, in what can only be described as a desperate attempt at relevancy and trying to get HBO Max into the discussion and things like that. It backfired horribly. They didn't get the new addition of subscribers that they thought they would get. I mean, they definitely added new subscribers, but it wasn't much different than the growth trajectory they already had. They lost tens of millions, not hundreds of millions of dollars in potential box office revenue, and pissed off a lot of HBO's partners, artists, creators, filmmakers, business associates, financiers. I mean, they just pissed everybody off. Like if there was an Olympic event that said, piss off as many people in one moment, go, Jason Kilar and HBO and WB in that circumstance would have won the gold medal. It got the normally completely docile Denis Villeneuve to write an absolute assassination piece that was published in Variety, I believe it was. Christopher Nolan, I mean, all the filmmakers came out and said, these they were not happy. But you know, and it's unfortunate that that's what we're going to think about Jason Kilar in the immediate contest, because he's done a lot of like really interesting things in his career. But still, look, we knew this was coming. He was going to be down. The new sheriffs are taking over here. Rob, you know, we hear about, it's now official. We've been expecting Kilar to step down, but it's now official. The head of one of the most prominent historical media companies in history is now stepped down. When you think about his reign over there at Warner Media, what are you going to be thinking about, and what can we expect moving forward now?
Well, you know, when he first came on, I was kind of excited about it. I mean, it was part of the whole AT&T thing, and it seemed to me that AT&T builds the pipelines that deliver all of our goodness that we watch and love. So it made sense to me that AT&T would want to acquire some place like Warner Brothers, because then they would control both ends of the pipeline, what's going into their pipeline and what's coming out of their pipeline. And that made sense. But unfortunately, you know, making movies and TV shows and entertainment is really hard, John. And a telecommunications company really is not the best fit, I think. And they found out, because, you know, all these executives are like, woo, look what we got. We got a movie studio. Let's make TV and movies. Well, because everyone thinks they can. It's the one business in the world where you could walk up to anybody on the street and go, hey, do you have an idea for a TV show? And everyone would be like, oh, I totally do.
Literally every Uber driver. Every driver ever has been like, let me give you my pitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no power.
Yeah, and it's that way. It didn't work out. But I think that he's a smart guy, and I think that he will, whatever he does, he'll probably go someplace and it'll be innovative. He's not dumb. And,
not by any stretch of the imagination.
He'll probably do something pretty interesting and innovative. I mean, I think that there was a confluence of events. It wasn't just him doing stupid stuff. I think Toby Emmerich actually was the architect of the day and date deal. He just thought it was a good idea. But I think now with Discovery taking over, I mean, David Zaslav he's very well regarded in the industry. We've talked a lot about how he deals with talent and what he believes in terms of his philosophy of making shows. I think it's a very good pick, but I think that Jason Kilar will probably wind up doing something, I don't know, pretty good. Maybe he'll go into production. Maybe he'll be an executive somewhere else. But I think he's innovative and interesting and has good ideas. And obviously, you know, he's not some train wreck like other executives we talk about on this show.
Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. Again, not an unexpected move. We have, ever since we heard about the merger, we kind of thought he'd be stepping down. But now that he is, when you look back at his kind of tenure, what are you going to think of? And what lies ahead now for Warner Brothers going into the sunset of Discovery?
I mean, it's a pretty short tenure, all things considered.
Yes,
2020 of April, right? And what a time to be on board. Goodness gracious. So with that in mind, honestly, like, well done, because other people who we've seen step in around this same time aren't faring so well. What I really love too is the memo that's circulating that he sent to the rest of his staff talking about leaving. And he's just so chuffed with his time there. He's talking about how he felt so creatively fulfilled, how he felt professionally fulfilled. He liked having this kind of direct connection to consumers across the globe and found all of this work really, really gratifying, which is so nice to hear. It's nice to see somebody leave so amicably and filled with that, hey, what I've done here is done. And I think it's time for the next
class
venture.
act.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It just is a very, very classy exit. I love that he drops his Twitter too in there, where he's like, if you follow me on Twitter, you can still see what I'm up to. But I'm really excited to see what he does next. I'm more interested, though, to see what Warner Brothers does next. How is this going to change with the merger and everything? What's going to happen? What's going on with this little new rise of power?
Yeah, I mean, see, this is, you brought up the thing that I'm really most fascinated about, because you know, there are legal things that can't happen until they take over. And a lot of people think that the moment they announce that there's going to be a merger, that David Zaslav is already pulling strings. And that's not how it works.
Right.
Legally, that's not how it works. I mean, it can't work that way. I am dying to see what happens, because David Zaslav is a guy who moves fairly quickly. Mm-hmm. Like, once he determines certain things are going to happen on one of his networks and one of his shows, they happen fairly quick. And I'm going to be interested to know and see, like, once April 11th comes around, or 12th, whatever it's going to be, like, do we hear DCEU canceled? Do we? I'm not saying that's actually going to happen. I'm just saying I'm going to be curious to see how rapid that thing starts. Now, of course, kind of connected to DC, like Kilar's predecessor, the CEO there. I mean, there's a lot of whispers that the reason his predecessor got fired because he's the one who greenlit Justice League, the HBO Max Justice League, which ultimately they say maybe cost him about $50 million in losses. for stuff like that. So I don't know. I doubt for a company the size of Warner Media, though, that a $50 million loss probably cost the CEO their job.
Yeah. Although it would be very funny if the first thing that David Zaslav did was he went on Twitter and put hashtag restore the Snyderverse and rehires Henry Cavill to play Superman again. Hey, by the way, I just made that shit up. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, just be clear.
Let me be clear. I just make that up. I would think it's cool. But no, I think you're right, John. I think that he's like the Cylons. He has a plan. And he's going to implement that plan. I think it's going to be
That's a great Battlestar Galactica reference, by the way. Well done.
He's going to be quick and he's going to be decisive. And I'll tell you, we've talked about in the past how he has great relationships with talent, and his guiding philosophy is make great entertainment. And I think that that's, that kind of thinking is going to bring us, viewers and fans, goodness.
And shouldn't that be everyone's line of thinking? It's bananas to me that's not.
You know who isn't? You know what? I'm going to keep quiet.
All right.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Filters are being used today.
Anyway,
Okay.
guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The guy who's been the boss over at Warner Media the last couple of years has resigned, paving the way now. They are clearing the decks for the Discovery takeover here happening in like a week. What are your guys' thoughts on this right now? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
I'm going to go follow him on Twitter right now.
Okay, guys, with that down, let's move into our main topics today here, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here on the John Campea Show? Well, it's rather simple. You see, you guys come up with our main topics. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
This comes from Austin316. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Paul.
baby.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I think all of us can say we grew up on Harrison Ford movies, but now maybe a new generation might grow up on his TV show. According to Variety, Harrison Ford has joined a new Jason Segel show called Shrinking, where he's going to be playing a therapist. I don't think Ford has ever done a TV show before, has he? Anyway, wanted to know what you guys thought about this and how you think the show sounds. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, Harrison Ford doing a TV show. Now, Harrison Ford has done television. Gunsmoke, the FBI. These are way back in the day, like way back in the day, before I was born, kind of way back in the day. But I don't know that he's ever been a regular on a TV show. I mean, he's done a bunch of guest spots very early in his career, but I don't think he's ever been a regular. I could be incorrect about that. If you guys have information that contradicts that, please, by all means, let me know. I'd love to hear it. But yes, there are now words coming out that Harrison Ford is getting ready to do a TV show. And he's not the lead. And those two statements to me sound rather ridiculous. But anyway, this is what we get coming to us from the folks over at IndieWire who write the following. The Indiana Jones icon is officially joining the Apple TV Plus comedy Shrinking. And it's a comedy! Harrison Ford! As a series regular. The 10-episode series is written by Jason Segel, who also executive produces alongside of Emmy Award-winning Ted Lasso co-creator Bill Lawrence and Emmy Award-winning Ted Lasso star writer and co-executive producer Brent Goldstein, who is one of my favorite characters on television, by the way. Shrinking follows grieving therapist Jimmy, played by Jason Segel, who starts telling his clients what he really thinks about them. Ford, meanwhile, is set to play another psychologist, a blue-collar shrink who is blunt in his therapeutic approach. Phil, played by Harrison Ford, is a pioneer in cognitive behavioral therapy who has built a successful practice over the years. Phil has recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's, which forces him out of his comfort zone as he grapples with intrusive friends, his estranged family, and his legacy. And that, of course, comes to us from IndieWire. Listen, this is fascinating to me on a couple of levels. Number one, I love Jason Segel. Love seeing that he popped up in Winning Time because I was just wondering about him not so long ago. Why don't I see Jason Segel in more stuff? And he's been popping back up more. Two, that Harrison Ford is joining a television series. It's incredible to me. And it really kind of emphasizes the power that Apple has right now. Apple can get anything they want. You want Harrison Ford to play that second character? Yeah, never going to happen. Let me take care of that for a second.
Let me make
And
a call.
Yeah, let me give a call. And Apple's able to make it happen. Next, it's a comedy. I haven't seen Harrison Ford. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I haven't seen Harrison Ford do a comedy since I can't remember the name of it, but I think he did one with Rachel McAdams.
Morning Glory.
Morning Glories. It was some kind of morning show, right?
Yep.
Right, where Harrison Ford teaches you how to make the perfect frittata. That's all I remember from that movie. I will teach you to make the perfect frittata. And all due respect to the good Canadian kid Rachel McAdams and Harrison Ford, that movie wasn't so good.
Not so much.
I don't know that he works so great in comedy. But he's going into comedy. Then again, I couldn't picture Robert De Niro really doing comedy until I saw Meet the Parents. So, I mean, hey, or what came first, Meet the Parents or Analyze This?
I think Analyze.
Okay, so I didn't really realize you could do comedy until I analyze. So I don't know, maybe this will be great. So I think this is fascinating. And look, we've talked a couple of times about the fact that it used to be real stars who were in movies and TV had their stars. And we've talked a lot of it in recent years that you see a lot more crossover. Harrison Ford doing television? I mean, this to me might be the biggest one yet to really proclaim that the line has now disappeared. There's no more line. It's gone. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. What do you think about Ford joining this? And what do you think about the sounds of the project in general?
I love this. How could Harrison Ford being a therapist not be a comedy? Just him being like, listen, kid, you got to get off your ass. It's going to be great. It's going to be so wonderful. And early in his career, too, he did things like Working Girl. He did Sabrina, which, sure, he was the straight man.
You know what? Thank you. Because Sabrina's one of my favorite films.
It's
and you're
really
right.
good.
Yeah, he's shown he can do that.
And I believe
my
John
gosh.
Williams does the score for that
Yes,
movie.
he does.
And it's great.
It's so good. It's so great. And it's hard for me to find something that rivals an original Audrey Hepburn film. And that one, is so good. But I think this will be great. And the team they've assembled here is so wonderful. Brett Goldstein, I think, is so funny. I think he's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Y'all know how much I love the Muppets. He did this really great little fundraiser stand-up bit where it's him doing Muppet Christmas Carol in 5 minutes. So
wow.
funny. Is one of my favorite things on earth. But his writing is so stellar on Ted Lasso. All the writing on Ted Lasso is incredible. I really, really love Jason's work too. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I think, is one of the funniest films.
It's in my top 10.
It's so good.
It's
in my
so
top
funny.
10.
And so is Get Him to the Greek.
Yes. Oh,
I didn't
so
like
good.
Into the Greek, actually.
I love it. That movie has such a good soundtrack.
At the wall.
Have you all Jeffrey? It's so good. So I think the team they're assembling here is really, really killer. And Apple TV, not only can they get Harrison Ford, but they deliver. All of their projects are so good. And this is why I'm so confused by people still sleeping on this streaming service. It's $5 a month, and everything I've watched on there has been incredible. Well, maybe not C. Logan really likes C. That
Yeah,
was my
I
jam.
wasn't big on C. That's the one thing that I've
Yeah.
watched on there that I thought, this isn't so great. Everything
Invasion.
else has
Everything
been
else has
stellar
been
comedy.
incredible.
Invasion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was
I
that
didn't
Apple?
watch that. I didn't know that was Apple.
Was Invasion Apple? For some reason, I thought that was
I know.
HBO.
Ray and I part ways on this one.
Don't you dare.
But
Ooh.
how did you watch Invasion, Ray? Is it Apple?
Yeah, it is Apple.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Invasion. I'll give Invasion one too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ray feeling betrayed.
No.
Betrayed today.
Fights today.
All right, Rob, let me go over to you on this. Harrison Ford, television regular, not the lead guy, with Jason Segel as a therapist. I don't know. What do you think about this whole story?
Well, I got a couple of things. I mean, like Chris said, I'd love to see Harrison Ford as a therapist, like pointing at his patients going, we need. What about you need? I need. I don't know what you're talking about. Probably don't. But the thing about this show that I think is probably the best for Harrison Ford is that he's playing a therapist so he can be sitting down, which means he won't get hurt. No doors, no blast shields or anything. Nothing's going to fall
no
on him.
airplanes crashing.
Yeah, no airplanes crashing in golf courses.
This is real chill.
Yeah, I think Harrison Ford's found the perfect role for himself. You know, he doesn't even have to get up. He can just have people coming in worried about his life, his secretary, and he can, maybe sometimes you'll see him putting on his shirt like that one scene in Working Girl when he puts his shirt on in front of everybody in the newsroom or wherever the corporation he works at. But no, I mean, I think Harrison Ford actually is a pretty deft comedian. And I don't think he's had enough time to shine in that role. And I think it's pretty great to see him playing this curmudgeonly therapist. I mean, that seems to me great. I don't know if it's perfect casting because we'll have to wait and see. But I know I want to see this show now.
By the
Like, this
way,
goes to the top of the list.
The thing that made me laugh the hardest ever, that Harrison Ford has ever made me laugh. Have you seen the special? And I bet you out of all of us, Ray's going to be the one who knows who I'm talking about. there was a magician who did
David
a spell.
Blaine.
Was it David Blaine?
Whoa.
Oh my
David
God, you're
Blaine.
right.
So
That's
good.
in his kitchen.
So if you
like,
guys,
oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
If you guys have not seen this video, look this up on YouTube, okay?
It's so good.
So David Blaine has this special where he goes around and he does a whole bunch of magic tricks to a whole bunch of different people, including Will and Jada Smith and a whole bunch of other celebrities. And he actually goes into Harrison Ford's house. And what's the name of his wife again? Alan
Close to
McBeal?
Flockhart.
Calista Flockhart, thank you.
In his kitchen.
And with their kids, they have the kids around, they're in his kitchen. And I can't remember the exact trick.
I know
But it
it.
involves fruit.
Right. The orange and the card.
Right, the orange and the card, and they're like, they open the orange and the card is inside. Anyway, he does something absolutely remarkable. And Harrison Ford is sitting there leaning on his counter watching it. And when he unpeels the orange, I think that's how it is, and he pulls out the card. Harrison Ford, there's just a moment of pause. Like everybody else in the room was going, like, oh. And Harrison Ford's just stone faced and goes, "Get the fuck out of my house." It's like one of the funniest things.
It's great.
You got to go look it up because the trick is kind of bonkers too.
Yeah.
The trick is absolutely bonkers. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Harrison Ford joining a television series, Jason Segel on Apple TV Plus. Do you like the idea? Does it seem weird? Does it seem like its time has come? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, the good folks at Manscaped. You know, I was in the shower the other day and I looked down and I thought, my goodness, the boys look fantastic. Dr. Jack Hammer, the amazing Mr. Fantastical, have never looked or felt better, and that is in part due to our friends at Manscaped. Because our friends at Manscaped are the global leaders in below-the-waist hygiene and are turning men's shower dreams into their favorite routine with the all-new Ultra Premium Collection. This all-in-one hygiene skin and hair bundle is designed to upgrade the everyday man's shower routine from head to toe. Your skin, hair, and balls deserve the best, my friends. You start off using the cologne-infused Ultra Premium Body Wash with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized all day. Then boom, it's time to take care of your hair. Simply apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses and nourishes your hair all in one step. Then once you dry yourself off and hop out of the shower, it's time to protect yourself from body odor by applying the Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant. And do you have tattoos or any dry skin? A lot of us do. It's time to hit your skin with the hydrating body moisturizer spray. Cap it all off by applying some Manscaped lip balm. And then last but not least, we're moving on to the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer to clean off any unwanted body hair. So guys, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Campea, that's Campea at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Campea at manscaped.com. And thank you to the folks at Manscaped. I love Manscaped for their support of the John Campea Show. All right, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 2, shall we? Chris, what is our second main topic today?
It's a Rob topic.
It's a Rob topic, and
Yay!
it's not Star Trek.
It's from Karen Gouda. Hey, John and crew. Been a fan since the beginning of the pandemic, and now listen every day on my way home from work.
Yay!
Aw. Have you guys seen the viewership numbers for Moon Knight? Well, it looks like the premiere outperformed both WandaVision and Hawkeye. For me, this is wild. This is the debut of a new character and not someone who has been in previous MCU movies, unlike the other shows. What are your thoughts?
All right, thanks for sending that in, Karen. I honestly didn't know where to set my expectations like for what is the audience size going to be for something like Moon Knight. Because while the trailer was really cool, nobody knows who this character is. I mean, and normally when we say stuff like that, we're talking about, you know, the average film goer who doesn't read a lot of comics. There's a bunch of people who maybe semi-regularly read comics that have never heard of Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of hardcore comic fans that know who Moon Knight is, but really don't know much about Moon Knight. And so I didn't know what the reaction, the response would be to what a lot of people tune in to watch it. Now, of course, we heard that the first episode was going to be great. We tuned in. It was great. By the way, today is game day.
Game day!
Moon Knight's on tonight, and I'm so excited to watch it. I'm so stoked. I love the first episode. Cannot wait. But so how many people would tune in? Well, a hell of a lot of people tuned in. Actually, more people tuned in to watch it than some other well-known, established MCU characters. This comes to us from the folks over at Deadline who write the following. Marvel's 5-day premiere last week of Deeper Universe protagonist. I always want to say protagonist Moon Knight hooked 1.8 million U.S. households, a figure that ties with the first frame draw of Disney Plus Marvel's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but is ahead of Hawkeye over the same number of days by 20%. That Jeremy Renner, Haley Steinfeld series clocked 1.5 million in its first 5 days from November 24th to the 28th. Essentially, the Disney Plus Wednesday through Sunday premiere of Loki from June 9th through 13th remains as the most watch of a Marvel series, or for that matter, any series on the streamer, including the Mandalorian series. Thor's brother pulled in 2.5 million U.S. households. Loki also holds the record for the most watched Disney Plus season series finale over 5 days with 1.9 million U.S. households, measured from July 14th through the 18th. So, while it is not the number one thing, nobody in the world expected it to be the number one thing. But if you had asked me,
except one.
Well, I know I don't even think him. But if you had asked me 6 months ago, do I think that this show could outdraw in its first episode Hawkeye? No. I mean, I didn't think Hawkeye looked that good. And I didn't enjoy Hawkeye that much, but I never would have thought that an OG Avenger would not be able to draw as many opening numbers. And it had decent opening numbers, but not be able to draw the opening numbers as Moon Knight. That Moon Knight would actually outdraw it. And if you had asked me 6 months ago, do I think Moon Knight can pull in the same premiere numbers as Falcon and the Winter Soldier? No way. No way. And yet it did. And here's the thing. I'm not surprised at all that it outdrew WandaVision, because that was their first show. Nobody knew if these shows were going to be any good or have any quality to them, whatever. That's fine. But I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to see the growth pattern that WandaVision had. Because remember, WandaVision just grew and grew and grew as week after week after week people talked about it because it was amazing. I still think the best show they've done so far. But this has the feelings to me of that. I mean, if the quality of the first episode can follow through tonight, then we could see the growth of this. Loki ended its finale with 1.9 million. I think Moon Knight could outpace that. I think if this thing follows the pattern of WandaVision and just grows and grows and grows and grows, I think we could get to the series finale of this, or the season finale, and find it outdrew even Loki. So, I mean, these are incredibly impressive numbers. Rob, you had a chance to take a look at these numbers. Are you surprised this many people tuned in? What do you attribute that to, and where do you see the show going now?
I actually think the fact that Moon Knight is an unknown quantity with most people it served this show because it was not off-putting to people who are not steeped in the MCU. It had two movie stars essentially in it, Oscar Isaac and of course Handsome Hawk. And it looked intriguing. It didn't look like your typical superhero story, the way they're playing with mental illness, what is real, what is not, that Fight Club aspect to it. It does not feel, and it was not sold as a traditional superhero show. And I think a lot of people tuned in intrigued, even people that are fans of comics who knew nothing about Moon Knight. They're like, well, I'm going to check that out. That looks interesting to me. And so I don't think there's any MCU fatigue with this show. And I think it just seemed like something fresh and new, and that's what drew viewership to it.
Chris, you had a chance to see these numbers. Number one, are you surprised that it's drawn this big, especially as an unknown character? And where do you think it's going to go, and what do you attribute its success to so far?
I think so much of this has to do with Oscar. I think this is Oscar Isaac, because my friends who are not into comic books have been texting me all the time about this show of just, hey, what's this character about? What's the deal here? Why is Oscar Isaac doing this? Which I love that question. Like, why is this actor making it? I don't know. Money and fun? I don't know. Why do we do anything?
Money and fun.
That's probably it.
Have you ever seen Oscar Isaac, the picture, like he's done interviews? Do you know what he has behind him at his house? Hot toys.
Yeah, he's a big hot toy guy.
Big old nerd. I love
now he's
this.
getting a hot toy. I mean, I think that part of that
makes
is that was part of the appeal to it.
Probably. But I think he really draws in a lot of people who we wouldn't see otherwise. And like y'all were saying too, the intrigue of this show, the Fight Club aspect, the mental illness aspect that they're actually exploring in a very, very interesting and thoughtfully done way. It's not a gimmick. It's not some kind of MacGuffin. I think that all plays into this too. And I do think for so many people as well who might be feeling that superhero fatigue, because I do know some people are feeling that a little bit. This is such an interesting take on the superhero genre that I think that's really enticing some other people who maybe don't want to go see, every single Marvel project, but this one has enough new, exciting aspects to it that they're tuning in.
You know what else, John? It's really well done. I think when people tune into this, it's a really high quality show that has great production values. And I think when people look at it, it's a rousing entertainment. And I think people tell their friends. I saw this thing. It was really great. You should check it out.
I'm curious to know Ray's thoughts on this, because Ray, you watched the first episode with us. Were you expecting it to get this big, considering nobody heard of it? And why do you think it's caught on with people so much?
I don't know why it's caught on. For me, not knowing anything about Moon Knight, it's something I was very attached to the screen. I don't know what it was. It's probably what Chris said. Oscar Isaac, he carried that whole first episode. I went on the journey with him, like feeling the paranoia. Like you were there, John. I was like, every sound I heard behind me, I was like, what was that?
Yeah,
like
sure.
when you
That was just a TV show?
No, because like John has a sound system too, where it sounds like things are coming from behind you.
What's going
So there was
on the couch?
especially that hallway scene. I was like, oh, what's coming? It's coming. But you know what? I want to point out something Rob mentioned about how not a lot of people know this character. And I think it helps this show because if too many people like know the character, then you'll be seeing these videos about Moon Knight sucks. It's not like this or like that.
# not my Moon Knight.
Yeah, it's exactly what the Halo show is going through right now.
Right.
Where it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just like, if you don't like something, just don't watch. I don't know why people like to complain because things are already filmed. They're not going to change it because of complaints. If you don't like it, watch something you like and, talk about something you like. I think it takes too much energy to talk about something you don't like. But anyways, Moon Knight is great. I'm sorry, just a little tangent there. Moon Knight is great. I can't wait for the next episode. I think they'll delve into the actual costume character more tonight, which is what I'm interested in. Why does he turn into this thing? What is his motives when he is this thing? What's
with the scarab? What's the significance?
Yeah,
of the
what's the significance
I thought it
of
was
scarab?
a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers badge for a minute. Like I wasn't quite sure what was going on.
Will Moon Knight run into this the other creature eventually, which is the matchup I want to see building up with Ethan Hawke too. I want to see what now that he knows he can't read Oscar Isaac's character, what is he going to do now? Is he going to continue pursue him? What's his goals? There's still a whole bunch of mystery, but it's good mystery. A mystery that I want to see solved and not like, I don't care.
Well,
I was going to ask a question though. What was the name again of the Egyptian deity that Handsome Hawk worships?
Amit.
Was it Amit?
Yeah.
That's right. So he mentions a story that Amit was betrayed by one of the other. Do you think Khonshu is the one that betrayed?
I would think so.
Yeah, something like that. That could be. Well, you brought up something, John. Even I, as a diehard Moon Knight fan, unlike say something like Star Trek, where I'm a fundamentalist. I have very specific ideas about what Star Trek should be. With this show, I should be like the fundamentalist Moon Knight fan. But the thing is, there is no real definitive Moon Knight. Moon Knight has been such an iterative character since 1975 that I love Moon Knight, but it's never Moon Knight. I'll be honest. Never been that good. There's been some good runs. Jeff Lemire wrote good runs. Brian Bendis' run was weird, but it's Brian Bendis, so you read it and go, oh, Brian Bendis. But I have been fascinated because it's new, and as much as I love Moon Knight, they're giving me a different version of the character that uses all these different things. So even for me as a longtime fan, I'm going into it like, wow, this is really interesting. And I think it would work. Anybody who's interested in good television or good drama or good fantasy or good comic book characters, there's something to find to like in this for all audiences, I think.
Also, Rob, I wasn't taking shots at you for like with your Star Trek thing. You have every right with Star Trek. You're like a special case because you've been a fan of that thing. I'm talking about.
I'm a special needs Star Trek fan.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about these? Like Moon Knight, for a character that nobody's ever heard of, is outdoing shows like Hawkeye, going neck and neck with like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, why do you think that is? And do you think it can continue that success? Whatever you guys' thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3, shall we? Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This comes from Gaff. Good morning, John. The reviews for Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore are starting to come in, and they're looking pretty solid. The last I looked, the movie has a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, with no audience score yet. What do you think about the reviews so far, and what are your expectations now that you've seen some of the reviews?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. First thing I got to mention to Gaff is, when they wrote that in, I don't know if there were 2 reviews, because then when I looked on Rotten Tomatoes this morning, it had a 32.
Percent?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Lower than Morbius?
It had a 32%.
Morbius was 15, I
Morbius
think.
was like 15.
Oh,
so,
I thought, no, anytime I talk about it, it's audience score.
Oh, yeah, no,
'Cause that's
no
what matters to me.
scores for Dumbledore. Yeah,
Oh,
so.
okay.
So it was at like 32% or something like that. Look, I have actually been very much looking forward to this movie. Unlike most people, I actually quite enjoyed the second Fantastic Beasts. I thought Johnny Depp was great as Grindelwald. I like the story they set up. I like the world. I like the conflict at the end. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a top 10 favorite movie of mine of the year or anything, but I quite enjoyed it. Now we're moving into this one, and you got Mads Mikkelsen now in there, which is great. I personally think the trailers look great. I love the Dumbledore character, and I love Jude Law, so seeing him take more of a prominent role in this one has been exciting to me. And so, yeah, and I'm going to go see it tomorrow. I'm going to go see Fantastic Beasts tomorrow. I'm going to go see Ambulance tonight, going to see Fantastic Beasts tomorrow, and then Sonic on Thursday. So a good couple of days lined up for me here. But, yeah, then when I went over and looked and I saw like 32, 34%, I can't remember what it was, I'm like, oh dear. Because the early reactions coming out of some fan events was actually pretty solid. Well, okay, I just loaded up the page now, and it's gotten better. It is now at 59%. Okay. So almost at 60. It's got 39 reviews in right now. Obviously still no audience score. We're not going to get one of those for a while. I remember one of the big positive ones was from Variety. If we go over to top critics, you see a lot of positives from the top critics. Time Out is saying, it lacks substance, menace, and often narrative sense, but it also delivers rich, immersive, and thrilling moments. That's good. So that's not bad. Screen International didn't like it. They say 3 installments in Fantastic Beasts can't shake the impression that it is merely a footnote in comparison to Harry Potter's coming of age saga. Well, I don't think anybody thinks it's anything other than a footnote compared to the regular Harry Potter ones. The Times liked it. Mikkelsen's simmering intensity adds a new layer of menace to the character, but also suggests a credibly torrid romantic history with Dumbledore. The London Standard says, when it was first announced that this would be a 5-part series, I thought, 5 Fantastic Beasts films? There shouldn't even be 1. Now, I'd love to see Fantastic Beasts 4. That's not bad.
No.
Polygon didn't like it. An evident attempt to right the ship has turned into a calamitous case of mission drift as a property with no identity travels in nonsensical circles looking for a sustainable new direction.
Yeesh.
Not so good. William Bibbiani over at The Wrap writes, it's hard to care much about any of the many characters in The Secrets of Dumbledore because hardly any of them have a meaningful storyline or character arc of their own. Empire liked it. The Secrets of Dumbledore doesn't quite cast a Potter-like spell, but with solid action and moments of genuine heart, it delivers a little light in the wizarding world's darkest hour. That's nice. Anyway, it goes back and forth. So, I mean, you got a bunch of people in there. Again, Variety's review of it was, no other film series works in such intricate, multiple installment arcs, planting details that will almost certainly pay off in forthcoming chapters. There you go. So it's kind of back and forth. Like I said, right now, again, it's substantially up from when I first looked. It's at 59% there right now. So it's leaning positive at this point. But the reviews aren't quite as good as the first reactions that we had heard early on. Where am I at right now? This is good enough to me. I'm reading enough of the critics that I appreciate saying that they liked it to have me sustain my excitement for it. I've heard a number of the critics saying this is the best of the Fantastic Beasts, and it should be known that some of the ones that are writing in the negative reviews didn't like either of the other Fantastic Beasts, and that's fair. So, but the ones that seem to have appreciated the other ones are also saying this could be the best one of the bunch. So, I'm not going in expecting an Academy Award winner. I'm not even expecting it to be as fun as Venom. But if you can just deliver to me a good time like I had in the last one, if you can give Jude Law some really good stuff to shine on screen, I'm good and I'll be totally satisfied. Again, I'm seeing it tomorrow, so I'll find out more then. But yeah, so anyway, Chris, where have your expectations been for this third one? Because I know for a lot of people it's been all over the place. And, you know, now that we're reading some reviews and things like that, what are you expecting?
Well, I mean, like you, I don't think the second one is as bad as people made it out to be. Look, your sequel's not always going to be Empire. It's not always going to be Two Towers. Sometimes it's the gum in between two pieces of paper and it's just moving us forward. All right. Sometimes we have to have things go pretty dog shit so we can have growth and development and things like that. Right. It did feel a little bit, and I know some people in the chat said this too, it does feel a little bit like Newt got sidelined in some of these stories. And that's kind of where I'm losing the thread of the Fantastic Beast part. And we talked about that with the trailers too. Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I don't know where to see them except for the end of that trailer. I need more of those beasts if that's kind of the through line here. I'm really excited about the addition of Mads Mikkelsen. I think he makes everything better.
Money Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Money Mikkelsen.
Oh, I think he's wonderful. I love the Jacob Kowalski character. I love that he's getting magic. I'm really excited about all of that. I'm really, really hoping that this is more thoughtfully done than some of these reviews are leading me to believe, especially if it's 3 out of a 5 franchise. That 5 number makes me a little nervous with what these people are saying. But obviously, you know, proof is in the pudding. I won't know about it till I'm there. Right now, though, I'm pretty just meh about going in. And I say that as somebody who grew up on the Potter books and has their own wand and is a proud Slytherin.
Like, I do want to point out one thing, and this concerns me a little bit. Mm-hmm. As I read through, like, I know a lot of film critics. Like, I know a whole bunch of them. And I know that almost all of them, they don't care about anything. They just go into the movie and they want to have a good time. And if they like it, they say they like it. And if they don't, they don't. People love to make up conspiracy theories about film critics. If film critics don't like movies they like, or if, heaven forbid, they like movies they don't like. I mean, so they love to come up with these conspiracy theories.
We're all being paid, John.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
And basically, if you're one of those people who believes in those conspiracy theories, you are a fucking idiot. That being said,
John.
Respectfully.
But that being said,
UFOs are real.
I want to give context to this. That being said, there are a couple of the reviews that I took the liberty a few minutes before we started the show to read through a little bit more. And there are a few of the negative reviews that spent a good chunk of their review talking about stuff other than the movie. Like and again, this is not the majority of them. This was a handful who are going to end up being 3% of the overall. But I was a little iffy about some of these when I was reading through the review, that a lot of their ink was dedicated to talking about the behind the scenes drama of it. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Ezra Miller, who we'll talk more about a little bit later, whether it's Johnny Depp, whether it's J.K. Rowling herself, and things like that. And I could not help, as somebody who does not believe in these stupid conspiracy theories, and I know these film critics, they just say what they think about the movie, period. But it was concerning to see, like, why some of the film critics, and again, it's a small percentage, seem to focus so much on stuff that had nothing to do with the movie itself. And that was a little disconcerting. Still, the majority of them that I read through were just, this movie didn't work for me because of this, and this, and that's totally fair. I'm still excited, though. Rob, I mean, I don't remember where you are at as in terms of the Harry Potter movies, the Fantastic Beasts movies specifically, but what are your expectation levels? What have they been like? Do these reviews we've been reading seem like they fall in line with that? Where are you at right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the reviews, first of all, I'm not that invested in the entire Harry Potter franchise because I was a little old for it. I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone when it was new, because I wanted to know what it was all about. It's kind of the same. I heard Stephen King, he reviewed Hunger Games, so I picked up the book and liked it. And I totally understand why Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon, but I was just a little old. Now, this Fantastic Beasts franchise, to me, because I don't have any investment in it, I get some enjoyment out of the effects. I like the characters. I don't think the movies have been great, but this might seem a little strange, but like the Transformers movies for me are a mixed bag. I love the first one. The rest of them, not so much until Bumblebee. But I love Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon. It's not good, but I love watching it. I love like the whole Battle of Chicago. I ran into Tom DeSanto last night and talked to him, and even he was saying, yeah, the third one. I go, dude, don't be dissing on your own Dark of the Moon. Come on. But I do find some enjoyment out of a lot of the set pieces in these movies. I enjoy the actors in the films. And to me, you know, as long as this gives me something like another, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. The first one I really loved. The other one's not so much, but I love 3 because all the fantasy elements. It was just crazy. So that's what when I watch these, because I'm not personally as invested in them. If they're really well done and you've got beautifully designed effect sequences and you do have some great actors really doing great work. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen in the trailer looks great. Like you said, Jude Law's in the movie more. And all the other actors look like they're having a ball. And I will watch a movie because of that. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think there's a lot of things in this franchise. I bought these movies. I actually own them, the first 2. And I enjoy them. And so hearing I don't know what people expect from them, you know, because I don't expect much. And what I've been given by these movies has entertained me. So and this one, as we talked about, that first extended trailer, I think it was the second trailer they dropped.
Right, yeah.
Dude, we all talked about it.
Yeah.
That was a great trailer. I looked at that trailer and I'm like, you know what, man? There's enough in this trailer. Everything in that trailer looked like I will like this movie. Mm-hmm. I will sit down. I have no necessarily personal investment in it, but if it was on TV or I bought the disc and I might go see it with Elizabeth, I am excited.
Well, fingers crossed. I will, of course, do an out of the theater reaction once I see it tomorrow. Then we'll talk more about it on the show on Thursday. Question is for you guys. What are you thinking right now about what we're hearing coming out of The Secrets of Dumbledore? A slight majority of the critics seem to be liking it right now. It's still holding the same percentage as I'm rebooting the page. What do you guys think? Where are your expectations at right now? Are you looking forward to seeing it? Have you not been? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Coinbase. Have you found yourself curious about getting involved in cryptocurrency, but if you're like a couple of friends of mine who have been really interested in it, they felt kind of overwhelmed by it, like not even knowing how to get started? Well, that's where Coinbase comes in because they make learning to buy and sell crypto simple. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy-to-use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. They support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. And that's why millions of people all over the world in 100 different countries trust Coinbase with their digital assets. So whether you're looking to diversify, just getting started, or searching for a better way to access crypto markets, start today with Coinbase. And for a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/Campea. Sign up at coinbase.com/Campea for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/Campea. And thank you to Coinbase for making this episode of the John Campea Show possible by being one of our sponsors. All right, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 4 here, shall we? Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
4th topic comes from Amir B. I remember last year you and Rob discussed that WB was going to be producing some narrative podcasts and that Batman was one of them. I just read that they are launching the new show in May. I love Batman, but I never thought about getting my Batman stories from a podcast. What does this mean? Are they talking about Batman stories? Are they reading them? How is a narrative podcast different from an audio novel? Thank you for clarifying, for any clarification you can give this.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that. Sorry, we didn't have the email graphic for that. Yeah, this is really interesting. So you're right. I remember, Rob, like it feels like a year ago, maybe it was longer, but Warner Brothers decided they were going to invest with Spotify into putting together some podcasts, some narrative podcasts. And one of the things they mentioned was going to be a Batman podcast. It's like, all right. And then I remember hearing a while ago that one of my favorite characters in the MCU, M'Baku, played by Winston Duke, he was going to be the voice of Batman.
Which is dope.
Which is like really kind of cool. Because if you think about his voice in Us, it's like, that could be a pretty decent Batman voice. So I love Winston Duke. I think the dude's great. Then this is interesting, although they're taking an angle with it that I'd not thought of before. Maybe this is from another story that I've missed and overlooked. But anyway, this comes from the folks over at CBR who write the following about this whole story, which is kind of interesting. They write this. Batman Unburied, the Spotify exclusive narrative podcast, finally sets a release date. And by the way, that release date is May 5th. May 5th is when this is coming out. As reported by the Hollywood Reporter, the Cape Crusaders' upcoming audio adventure is set to hit Spotify on May 5th and will delve into some of the darker aspects of Batman's mythology. While the episode count of the series is currently unknown, the podcast features an all-star cast of voices, including Black Panther's Winston Duke, who plays Bruce Wayne / Batman. The audio drama will also feature the vocal talents of Gina Rodriguez, Jason Isaacs, I love Jason Isaacs, Lance Reddick, Ashley Birch, and John Rhys Davies, who I also love John Rhys Davies. So that's just all great to me. The Batman Unburied is the first production to come from a multi-year first look listening deal between Warner Brothers and Spotify. The story begins, now this is where it gets interesting. The story begins with Bruce Wayne working as a forensic pathologist in Gotham Hospital as he's been tasked with examining the victims of a terrifying serial killer known as the Harvester. I'm guessing that he takes organs. I'm just going to go out on a limb there and guess that.
Maybe he farms.
Maybe he farms. Maybe he loves
pumpkins.
Stardew Valley. Maybe he just plays a lot of Stardew.
That's precious.
Not only will the superhero be forced to face his own mental demons, but he will also have to overcome them in order to save the citizens of Gotham as his alter ego Batman reads the description for the series. So, Bruce Wayne will start off working as a forensic pathologist at a hospital? I just thought being rich was his job. So, okay, he's definitely the detective, so that's cool. I am not familiar with any of the stuff that I've read where he's had that. So maybe that is in one of the comic runs that I'm just not familiar with. So that's interesting. Okay. Now, the person who wrote in the email asked an interesting question. What is the difference between a narrative podcast? Because he asked in there, are they just going to read a comic or talk about a story? What is the difference between a narrative podcast and an audio novel? I don't know. I don't know. Why? Because if this is what I'm picturing in my head, then that's called an audio novel. Or, as they used to call it in the old talkies, radio dramas. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what the difference is, other than the fact that in most audio novels, nobody does audio novels, even their bad ones, better than Star Wars. Star Wars audio novels are the shit because they put so much production into it with the music and the sound effects. The thing is, it's always one person doing the voice. It's the narrator doing the voice, right? Of all the different characters. This sounds like they're going to have a full cast and all that kind of stuff. That's great. So I'm assuming, person who wrote in the question, I'm assuming this is just an audio novel with multiple cast members, but it's going to be released in chapters, so they call it a podcast. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a listen. I will say this, though. Batman, to me, is very much a visual story. Batman, to me, is a visual medium, whether it's painted images or moving pictures, whatever. It's interesting to me to try to picture myself listening to a Batman story. But then again, I guess you could say the same about Star Wars. Star Wars is a very visual medium-based thing, so maybe that'll work. I'll check it out. I don't know what to expect. Anyway, Rob, you're hearing about this. What do you think about this project there? David Goyer is the executive producer on this, by the way. Is this something that catches your interest?
So excited. John, I grew up listening to the CBS Radio Mystery Theater Presents, hosted by E.G. Marshall. And they were really like dramas. They were actors portraying parts. There were sound effects. There was music. And it was like listening to a whole story. It was like a play or like a TV show. You're just listening to it. You're not seeing it. One of the greatest things that came out last year was The Sandman, the DC's The Sandman
So
audio drama.
good.
Oh,
A lot of people like that a lot.
Oh my God. I mean, it was, first of all, it was like 13 hours long, and Neil Gaiman was like the narrator, and it was a full-on actors playing parts. It was an audio drama, and it was just as entertaining as a movie. It was incredible. And I think it's if they're doing anything like they did with Sandman, this is going to be something really special. And I implore all of you out there, our viewership, do yourselves a favor. And if you like audiobooks and you go to work or whatever, if you have not listened to the Sandman audio drama, it is, Chris,
Oh, it's
don't
incredible.
you think?
It's incredible.
Incredible.
It's so good.
And it'll make you fall in love with that character. And here's an exclusive for the John Campea Show. I have a friend that has seen the first 3 episodes of the Sandman TV series, which is one of my most eagerly awaited things.
Yeah, that thing's only been coming for like 7 years.
And
yeah, it's about time.
I mean, they've been trying to make Sandman and he, big thumbs up. And he was telling me about one particular episode that is early on in the comic run, because it's my favorite comic of all time. I go, wait a minute, they did that? They did that. It's called 24 Hours if you want to look into it. And he goes, oh yeah, they did that. And I'm like, that early on in the series? He's like, yep. I'm like, wow. And I'm like, oh, I'm in. But listen to that audio drama because it's awesome, dude.
Chris, you're hearing about this narrative podcast of
Yeah.
Batman, Winston Duke, the whole bit. I don't know. Is this something that's catching your attention? What do you think we can look forward to? Are you excited for
I'm
it?
very excited about this. Let's talk about that podcast versus audiobook thing for a second too, because I know about this. So basically, this is more about the way that we're distributing this, right? So audiobook, you get that all at once. You buy that, you listen to that at your leisure. The podcast format is going to allow DC to have ads throughout their chapter releases. So
That's
you can
true.
monetize that in a much more effective way. So there's that. Like you guys were saying too, audiobooks typically, sometimes this is different. If you have a romance, maybe sometimes there's 2 narrators, or if they're doing 2 different people's perspectives and there's first person narration. Usually it's just you, and their narration itself is much more laid back. You're reading, maybe it's a finished hour read of 15 hours, right? That means your audiobook narrator has worked probably 30 plus to get those nice clean edits, right? So you're usually a bit more relaxed, you're seated, you're not doing really zany voices when you're doing the other things. There are exceptions to this rule. We've got Andy Serkis currently doing a Lord of the Rings read. He's full on doing his Gollum voice, of course. He's doing a lot of different voices on that as well. When you're doing something that is much more like an audio drama where we're acting out the play, you have people coming in and out, doing their lines. It feels more like it's akin to what you do for animation or video game readings as well. Just a little more dropped in. If animation is playing out to the mezzanine in a theater, your audiobooks are more like a black box theater experience. So a little more pre-life, a little more grounded as well. So that's kind of the differences there for you, dear viewer. Back to me being excited about this. Fuck, yes, I am. Oh my God, I'm so excited. If you guys listen to the Wolverine podcast, The Long Night, that got me hyped for listening to more comic book stories in this kind of format. And having M'Baku do the voice of Batman, I mean, come on, that's going to be killer.
It's going to be killer.
All right, guys.
It's going to be
questions?
killer. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Would you be interested in checking out a podcast version of a Batman story? I mean, it could be interesting. We also got a couple people in here excited about it. What are you guys feeling about it? Jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 5, shall we? Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
Oof, my goof. It comes from Lou A. I was listening to your most recent mailbag, and you mentioned that even if WB wanted to get rid of Ezra Miller, they really couldn't until after the movie comes out because they can't have that kind of negative PR. I get that, but don't they risk even more negative PR if they do nothing? Between his violent outbursts and strange online messages, isn't Ezra basically a powder keg right now that could go off at any time?
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in. Okay. So here's the thing. I have said, obviously we've been covering the Ezra Miller drama here for a while this last couple of weeks. Obviously there was the incident where he got arrested, and then after that we find out there was a restraining order put against him for another thing that he did. This of course all ties back then to some really peculiar online things that he did, then obviously going all the way back to the choking the girl out front of the thing and everything. Now, to give context and just to lay the groundwork here, this goes back to that incident 2 years ago where Warner Brothers did nothing about the whole incident of Ezra Miller being caught on tape, literally, who after being thrown out of a bar, literally grabbing a girl by the throat and taking them to the ground. Okay, so Warner Brothers did nothing. Their philosophy was, shh, don't talk about it and everything. Of course, there's a lot of people who said this is only going to embolden their behavior. This is only going to embolden Ezra Miller's behavior. And now we're seeing a lot of stuff. Then more stories came out that like Hilo police were called like 10 times in terms of a week over Ezra Miller and stuff like that. Is just the craziest stuff. Now, I have said on this show that there is nothing you can do about the upcoming Flash movie. There's nothing you can do about it. It's done. It's shot. You cannot recast it. You cannot redo it. You can't CGI it. It's done. And somebody did bring up on the mailbag I did yesterday, and they asked, you know, I mean, something needs to be done about Ezra Miller now. They just need to publicly say they fired him from Flash now. But you can't do that. This is what I said yesterday. I said, you cannot do that because you got the movie coming out. Even if, and that's a big if, even if Warner Brothers was so inclined to part ways with Ezra Miller, and we don't know that they are, but even if they wanted to do that, they would never make that public until after the Flash movie came out. Case in point, I point you and direct the court back to the whole issue of Ben Affleck was being done as Batman, which I told people for a long time and nobody believed it. And then the whole incident at Comic-Con happened where they had the WB panel, and what happened? Ben Affleck got on stage. Oh yeah, I'm still Batman. I love being Batman. It was all a lie. We understood why, because he's being a professional. He's trying to sell the movie. And if you make the story that he's out as Batman, that's going to hurt the movie. That's the way Warner Brothers, that's their playbook. Deny. Shh, shh, shh. Don't talk about it. That is Warner Brothers playbook. And so I've said for a long time, you cannot fire him before this thing comes out. There's no going back on that, blah, 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 blah. Now, as I often do, you guys know I know some people in studio positions. And here's a little bit of inside baseball for you. A lot of people in my line of work have contacts at studios. A lot of people do. I'm not special. And what normally happens is we will often, people in positions like mine, we will write when there's a story coming out, we want a little bit more clarification or understanding of some things, or maybe get a little inside information. We write to these people, and the reality is 8 times out of 10, they just don't write back. Like they just don't get back to us. And then sometimes, the 2 out of the 10 times they do get back to us, it'll be something very vague, very party line. Sometimes they'll say something a little nebulous. Sometimes they'll say something pretty specific. So when stuff was going on last week or earlier in the week with the Ezra Miller stuff, I wrote to somebody I knew at Warner Brothers, and I just asked, it was a short email, but it's just basically saying, hey, look, is Warner going to do anything about this? Are they going to address it this time? Is there a possibility you guys could part ways with Ezra Miller? And all that kind of stuff, right? Not really expecting to hear anything back. And then, yes, last night, I got a response that was a little cryptic, but said they're discussing options. They're discussing options. Now, before we blow that phrase way out of proportion, I want to remind everybody that discussing options can mean a lot of things. It could mean we have decided to get rid of Ezra Miller, and we are looking currently at the best ways to go about doing that. Okay, sure. That's one way you can look at it. But it could also mean that they've decided to do nothing about it, and they're just discussing how to spin that, that they're going to do nothing. It could also mean, it could mean a million things. They're discussing options. And also, when they say they're discussing options, that could be 3 junior vice presidents are going to have a lunch meeting about it. And if they can come up with anything, they'll pass it up. Or it could mean the executive board of Warner Brothers is currently sitting and meeting and talking about it, maybe wanting to get this thing settled before Big Papa Zaslav takes over in a week. And maybe they lose their jobs for not doing something. Or maybe they lose their jobs for doing something. I don't know. But they got a new boss coming. I think they want to try to clean up a little bit if they can. So it could mean a lot of things. I want to be very, very clear about that. Could mean a lot of things. But let's revisit the question. When people have been asking me, could they fire Ezra? I've been saying no. That answer could suggest I've been wrong. I'm not saying it is suggesting I'm wrong, but I am conceding that that response I got could suggest maybe that I'm wrong. And that in saying that they can't fire him, blah, blah, blah. So let us, as the council of wisdom, now confer with one another about, okay, let's say for argument's sake that I've been wrong. That let's just for a moment, though I'm probably not, but for a moment, let's assume that I've been wrong in saying that they cannot part ways with them at this point. It's too late. The movie shot, blah, blah, blah. All right. Let's say for a moment I'm wrong. And that things that they are discussing are, yeah, they're seriously looking at getting rid of him. Okay? Let's just take that for a moment, just for the sake of the discussion. Realistically speaking, what are their options? Now remember, the movie is shot. It's done. It's in the can. It's not coming out for a while. Like, what month in 2023, Ray? Can you look that up for us? When does The Flash come out? I remember they just recently moved to 2023.
May, I think. May or June.
So, I mean, it might be another full year away. I mean, I don't know. But if, and this is a big if, they are looking at actually removing him, what honestly are their options? I want to propose a couple, and I want to see what you guys would add to that list and which one you think it would be. Option number one is do nothing. That has been their playbook. Do nothing. Drop some Henry Cavill Superman rumor to get people distracted and stop talking about Ezra. Seems to work really well because we are easily distracted. Option number two. They part ways, but after Flash comes out, following in the Ben Affleck model of things. Did you get that release date?
June 23.
So June. So over a year away. Oof. So there is time to do something if they want to. So option number one, do nothing. Option number two, decide to quietly part ways, but don't let anybody know that until after the Flash movie comes out. Then you get into some more of the extreme possibilities. Extreme possibility number one. CGI, as somebody wrote in and suggested, CGI another actor's face onto Barry's body and have it be a different actor. That is so problematic. There are so many potential problems with that, but still, one of the options that we will say is on the table. That's option number three. Option number four, delay the film further and straight up reshoot the movie. Financially, that seems unlikely and again, extremely problematic. Yeah. Not to mention, next week, a new boss takes over and you're going to have to explain to the new boss, why are we paying $200 million to redo a movie we already shot? But again, it is one of the options on the table. Another option, announce that they have fired Ezra Miller quickly so that they've got a year for that to kind of blow over and then the final movie that he appears in comes out. That's not a terrible option. So those are a couple I've come up with here. Rob, let me throw this over to you.
Yes, sir.
Let's for the moment assume, which there's no basis for this right now.
Sure.
But let's assume for a moment that in discussing their options, one of the things they've seriously got on the table is the idea they're going to part ways with Ezra Miller. If that were the case, what other options do they have other than the ones I've mentioned? And if you don't have any more, which one of the options that we've talked about seems to be the most likely or the most plausible that they could employ if they wanted to?
Well, remember, most people in the world aren't paying that much attention to this story. So the studio has the option. You could wait for it to blow over. Or if Ezra, it seems to me this kind of behavior, this erratic behavior, something is not right.
A miss.
Is a miss. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. It's a miss. And if they can find some way to get Ezra Miller the help or find out what's going on and maybe alleviate that problem, that would be to have Ezra Miller get some help and then maybe come out in 6 months and issue an apology. People won't even remember what he's apologizing for, but he can come out and be, concede and say, look, I was wrong, and everyone loves to forgive and then move on. They still have another 6 months before the movie comes out. So I would think my first thought would be that option. Let's see what's going on, find out what's going on. We can get him some help, get him the help he needs. He comes out and apologizes because there's not only money invested in this movie, John, he's a part of Warner Brothers. He was the Flash. We saw him a glimpse of him in Batman v Superman. He was in Justice League. He's in Flash. They didn't just make this movie thinking they're going to make a one-off. They want to make Flash movies. And if that's the case and they still think they're viable, I mean, it's too bad it happened to this, of all the movies they've been making. They've been trying to make this movie since 1937. And I mean, for all of the movies that this has happened to, it's such an unfortunate situation. But I don't think reshooting the movie, I don't really think is an option because he's not just playing Flash. He's playing another version of Barry Allen, apparently. There's multiple versions of him. So reshooting this, I just can't see them doing that. Maybe deep fake technology, but then that's going to draw so much attention to itself. It's going to be a mess.
And SAG's going to freak out.
Yeah, it's just going to be
SAG will freak out.
SAG will freak out. It'll just be a mess. And I think that there's no real option than to ride out this storm, some way, shape, or form. I think the best way is let's figure out what's going on with Ezra Miller. Let's get him the help he needs. He gets cleaned up. He comes out and says, "I was a maniac. I'm sorry. I was a wild man. I was Keith Richards in the late 60s. I'm sorry." And hopefully that'll work out. But I don't see there's any real option because this is not a cheap film. Like you said, David Zaslav's going to come in and go, "Wait a minute. You want to reshoot a movie?" Like you said, what? Let's just put it on the shelf. It never comes out. And then, when enough fans are like, release the Andy Muschietti cut for the Flash, and then they'll finally, when they get enough goodwill, put it on HBO Max.
It should point out that there is a little bit of a template that's out there right now because Fox/Disney, they employed let's just be quiet about this and let's play it out for Death on the Nile.
Yeah.
Right? With their Army Hammer situation. They were just like, let's delay it as much as we can.
Remove him from all the trailers, basically.
Yeah, take him out of 95% of the trailers, and then let's wait for some of it to die down a bit, and then just let it quietly release. And it was fairly quiet. They quietly released that movie.
They can't do that with the Flash.
But yeah, that's the
He's
problem.
up in front right there.
Can they do it with the Flash? Like, you can't take Ezra out of the marketing for the Flash, and do you just keep pushing until you quietly release it?
I mean, it could be the best movie in the world, but when they release it, that like every review headline is going to be Flash in the pan or something like that, and that'll be the one and done Flash film has finally come out, and unfortunately, it's pretty good.
I love this newscaster voice you're doing too, by the way. Extra.
The Flash movie has been released.
Sounds like the opening of that freaking Clone Wars movie. The Jedi fighting back against the Clone. It's like, okay, something's wrong with Star Wars now.
Ooh.
Anyway, but Chris, let me ask you this. One of the things that they wrote in was saying, like, if you don't do anything, isn't at this point Ezra, from a PR point of view, isn't he a bit of a ticking time bomb? I almost feel like we're just waiting anxious. Like, at this point, I feel like every morning I wake up, because I'm a fan of Ezra Miller's Flash iteration.
Me too.
I like Ezra Miller's Flash.
I have a hot toy of him.
And I feel like every morning I wake up and I hit to open my news feeds and go, please don't be something new about Ezra. Yeah. I feel like any moment now, we're going to find that Ezra Miller beats Baby Seal to death on Santa Monica Beach with a baseball bat or something along those lines. I mean, I just don't know. So what, realistically, let's say you're in the room where it happens, to quote Hamilton.
Oh, sweet.
Let's say you're there.
Okay.
And you're in those boardrooms right now, and you're trying to figure out, let's say discussing options is going on. What to you right now is the best approach for how to handle this situation right now? And what do you think, if it's a different answer, do you think they will end up doing to handle this right now?
I mean, I do feel fiscally the waiting out the storm is probably your best option, because reshoots are going to be so expensive. And we do have things like the Tig Notaro situation with Army of Darkness?
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Thank you. Not Army of Darkness. Oh my gosh. Very different film. And that worked out really, really well. But Tig was replacing a supporting character, right?
A small role.
And while certainly a lot of what they're doing with Barry, I assume, is going to be green screened, Barry running through the Speed Force, lots and lots of effects heavy things that you could reshoot. You very, very well could. It's those interactions with other people that are going to be the real time consuming and costly things that we're doing here. And I'm with you. I really enjoyed what Ezra did with Barry Allen in the Justice League film. I thought their performance was really, really great. I stand by when somebody continues to show you the kind of person they are behaving as. You listen to them.
Yeah.
And hopefully they get all the help they need and they get themselves sorted out. But this also then leads us to talk about other people in the WB sphere who have not been dealt with or have been dealt with in different ways, right? We have the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation as well as this. So WB really needs to have some firm boundaries about what they expect of their actors.
Or like if I was like working at Warner Brothers, I would put up the money to get the band Better Than Ezra to record a new album and have Ezra Miller star in the first music video in that band's album. And that'll be his apology. But okay, maybe that's too,
You point out some inconsistency here, because I remember when this thing happened, right? The part about that really drives me crazy about Warner Brothers is the inconsistency.
Yeah.
Because around about the same time as the first Ezra Miller incident, I cannot remember the actor's name, but the guy who played Elongated Man on, ironically enough,
on The Flash,
show, he got straight up fired
because of very distasteful tweets.
Because of tweets that were multiple years old.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if that's your approach and that's your philosophy that you want to fire somebody for that, okay. But they fired a guy for tweets. Mm-hmm. But they had another one of their actors on camera being thrown out of a bar during the height of a pandemic and then grabbing a girl by the throat, and they did nothing. So I'm fine with either approach, but to me it was like the inconsistency there.
Exactly.
You're pointing out the Johnny Depp stuff. Now, granted, you can make an argument that Johnny Depp had a court case that happened, and a court of law ruled you're a wife beater. Mm-hmm. And okay, you can make that argument, but still it seems rather inconsistent that you straight up fire Johnny Depp, but you don't even say anything about Ezra
Exactly.
Miller.
Well, and the tweets regarding that actor on the Flash television show were about violence proposed against women, essentially, right?
Right.
So this theoretical violence is more atrocious than actual violence. That's a huge inconsistency. And the tweets, I will say, reading them were disturbing. It was very upsetting to read that.
They were distasteful, to say the least.
Yes.
Exactly. But obviously, all these accounts, 10 different phone calls to the police, that is very, very disturbing as well. So if we're going to do this about theoretical violence, why won't we do it for actual violence? That's what I can't wrap my head around.
Well, it's the amount of money.
That's
You've got
true,
Fantastic
too.
Beasts and The Flash. You're looking at a big 9-figure number right there. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot. I mean, that's hundreds of millions of dollars.
I definitely think, though, moving forward, they won't use Ezra because, I mean, what a liability. Think of just the insurance on your film set for having an actor who behaves this way.
Just keep alcohol away from him, I think. Obviously.
But okay, so let's bring it down to the bottom line here. Let's now talk about what's actually going to happen. Nothing.
Yeah.
I will still look. I get it. What I'm hearing now may contradict what I'm saying, and that's fine. I accept that. But I still stand that I believe at the end of the day, Warner Brothers will do nothing. They have a favored nation policy apparently over there, where some people get busted for bad behaviors and others don't. And for whatever reason, they've decided that Ezra is just too big of a star for their thing to hold them accountable for anything. What are you going to say, Ray?
I wanted to ask something. Okay, let's say this Flash movie does come out. I'm still going to watch it. I'm still interested.
Still going to watch it?
Me too.
I don't know what you guys are going to watch because it's not real.
What are you guys talking about?
There's no movie.
You know, decide to snuffle up, I guess,
Yeah.
and watch this thing.
You know what I would want is like, Ezra, he's still young,
They
he's
are.
still like doing like his thing. I really want him to realize what he has. He has a lot more than a lot of us have, and a lot of us would love to be in his shoes. Just appreciate it. Maybe, know what's going on, and either apologize to WB. It's not just WB who has a problem. It's Ezra who has a problem. Both of them need to do something if they want to keep him on staff or whatever and have this movie come out.
Yeah, see, I tend to agree, though, with Chris. I think what ultimately is going to happen for over the next year is nothing. They're going to maintain their see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Nobody talk about this thing. They're going to do absolutely nothing about it. And then sometime after the Flash, they will very quietly maybe part ways with them. But it'll be long after that. So I am standing on the firm rock of Warner Brothers is going to do nothing about this.
They could do...
Rob, what do you think?
They could do something really... I mean, they have to do something. I think you're probably right. They're going to do nothing. I mean, but if you told me that Andy Muschietti went to the studio brass and said, you know what? What if we shot a bunch of stuff with Pennywise and made this It 3? And I mean, to me, that would not surprise me, because at this point, the kind of damage control that needs to be done, we're talking about a person that's unfortunately needs some kind of help. I don't know what kind of help, but this is not any kind of normal behavior. Even when you're Robert Downey Jr. in your worst state, waking up in someone else's bed, that's different than having 10 calls to the police. That's different than having a restraining order taken out against you. Something is going on with this guy. And I want to see the studio at some point step in, and he is a partner with them. They are business partners. And I think that Warner Brothers needs to step in and help their partner out get the help that he needs.
And possibly Warner Brothers could be going by the thing of, as long as you get to work on time, you do your thing here at work, I don't care what you do in your personal life.
But that's not the world we live in anymore.
This is a movie company that's a lot of people
it's
see.
Business. It's business. And if your behavior away from set hurts our business, then we should do something about it. I think at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen. Anyway, we gotta move on. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? I am hearing that Warner Brothers is discussing options, but what the hell does that really mean at the end of the day? I still believe they're going to do nothing about this whatsoever, and maybe the strategy will work for them. Maybe it hasn't. Doesn't seem to be working out so well for them so far. What do you guys think? Two different questions, and if you're going to put in a comment, I want you to make sure you address both of these, not just one. Number one, what would you do if you were in the boardrooms of Warner Brothers? And number two, what do you think is actually going to happen? Because those could probably be two different answers. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of this video, Stamps.com. They call what I and what a lot of you guys do small business, but to us, it doesn't seem small. It's the world to us. And you can't afford to miss out on opportunities to grow and keep your customers wanting more. Because time is money. Don't waste either with repeated trips to the post office. With Stamps.com, you can skip the trip and focus on how to take your business to the next level. Stamps.com lets you print official postage right from your computer and saves you money in the process. So you can spend less time at the post office and more time making your customers happy. Stamps.com gives you access to all of the post office and UPS shipping services that you need right from your computer. And get discounts you can't find anywhere else, like up to 40% off USPS rates and 76% off UPS. So stop overpaying for shipping with Stamps.com. Sign up with the promo code Campea for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com and click on the microphone at the top of the page and enter the code Campea. And a big thank you to Stamps.com for being a sponsor of today's episode of the John Campea Show. Guys, remember you can find links to all the sponsors and the promo codes and the special links to get you guys your discounts all down in the description of this video. Go check that out and support our sponsors because they're supporting us. All right, guys. With that all down, let's now take the rest of our time here today to listen to you guys and hear what you guys have to say. Let's head on over there right now. Chris, what do we got coming up here?
Well, we've got support from Connor Thorne and Paul Dogg, so thank you guys very much for that.
Thank you.
From Andy, how to describe Morbius. The Joker rips off Batman.
I I'm not quite sure I agree with that assessment, but hey, there you go. All right, what's next?
Wiley Todd. Hey, crew, do you remember the movie Sahara in 2005 with Matthew McConaughey?
Yes.
Not,
Pit.
not a good movie in my opinion, but I need McConaughey in those types of roles.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss Matthew McConaughey doing these kinds of types.
Yeah, I kind of like that movie.
I
hate to say it, I kind of like.
I wasn't big on that one, but there's something about McConaughey in those kinds of movies. I know now he's an Oscar winner and blah blah. I wouldn't mind seeing him go back to doing that sort of thing
Did
though.
Breck Eisner direct that movie?
I honestly cannot remember.
Because I think he went on and did the remake of The Crazies, which I really liked. I don't know if that's true.
Not
I don't
really
remember.
sure. All right, what's next?
From Seconds from Disaster. So it's obvious you refer to one of the questions to name the stream of or mailbag, but how do you actually decide on the title? What's the Campea science?
I'm not quite sure what it is he's asking.
Like, out of all the mailbags, how do you decide on the main title for the mailbag?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so yeah. So look, mailbag is just like 40, 50 questions that get sent in from you guys, the audience, right? There really is no science to it. I literally just go through and say, what was the most interesting discussion?
Or the most relevant?
And a relevant topic, right? So really, because the reality is we only give a couple of short minutes to each question that comes in, right? It's not like the title question is going to be discussed for 15 minutes. So really, it's just a good way for us to identify different episodes from each other. So honestly, it's just that. It's like, what was a really relevant topic and one that we had at least a semi-good little discussion about it. That's just kind of it. No more rhyme or reason to it other than that. Seconds from Disaster. Thanks for
Science.
asking the question, man. Science. All right, what's next?
From Andy again. If Matt Damon was in an adult film, I would definitely shout, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
I guess I get it. Get it instead of boring.
Well,
It's
that
porn.
gets a boo from me.
Boo.
There it is.
All right, what's next?
From the Darman. After the last two comic book movies cracking my top 15 CBMs of all time, and No Way Home coming in at number 1 of all time, Morbius takes its spot at 80 out of 91. Ah, well.
Yeah, No Way Home. You've heard me talk about No Way Home. I really enjoyed No Way Home. It's not a top 10 comic book movie of all time for me. I mean, it's really entertaining and
Yeah.
really fun.
I
It
agree.
absolutely
I agree
is.
with you, John.
But it's not a top 10 comic book. But that's just, to me, that's the beautiful thing about these movies. Though we all have our different lists, and what matters most to us in these types of movies will differ from each other, and that's all great. But I will say that prior to Morbius, man, it's been a fun time to be a comic book movie fan again, because you got Spider-Man No Way Home, and we got the Batman, right? Personally, I think the Batman was better than Spider-Man No Way Home. That's just me. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed both of them a lot. So, and now, tomorrow morning,
Ticket watch.
Ticket Watch, 6 a.m.
You know what's crazy? I cleared my top spot of my top comic book movie because I'm waiting for this Blade movie, and it should fit right at the top.
You're
yeah.
already
Coming up.
making room for
I
it.
love the actor and I love the character. Please be good. Let's do it.
All right, what's next?
From MP, if Batman 2 takes place around year 5, that should give enough time for classic 80s comic Batman costume, gauntlets, and boatmobile with same realism.
I don't think so. I mean, look, one of the things that I don't think they really care about is being authentic or true to anything that's in the comics. They and I've said this before, and I know people don't like it when I say it, but you know, my job is not to say what you want to hear. My job is to tell you my actual thoughts. My actual thoughts on this are: the filmmaker's responsibility is not to be like the comics. The filmmaker's responsibility is to make the best movie possible. So, I mean, you could, but that's irrelevant. They could have taken stuff from that era and put it in this movie if they want to. I really don't think that's one of the considerations on Matt Reeves' mind. Rob, what do you think about that?
I completely agree with that. I mean, the films, look, when you're trying to create a realism in the world and you're trying to take a character like Batman, you can draw Batman with utility belts and all kinds of crazy stuff, capes and cowls and all of that. But when you translate that into 3 dimensions, into quote unquote the real world, it's not the same thing. And asking to emulate a comic book character that's drawn in on a page in 4 colors, it's really difficult to ever translate what you're seeing, unless it's like Superman the movie. That was sort of unique in the sense that worked. I mean, I think that's probably the best comic book character that stepped off the screen that actually looks like a character that was on the page. I mean, look at Henry Cavill. That's what you have to do now. You can't, behind Henry over there.
That's it.
You can't. You have to do something like that because otherwise, it's not going to look right. And to do an '80s iteration of Batman live on camera, I don't know if you can do that and make anybody accept it.
All right, what's next?
Some support from Robert Perez, so thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
John D. Hey, guys. John, since Andrew is your favorite Spider-Man, what's your favorite moment in the Amazing Spider-Man series? He was incredible in Gwen's death scene.
The Gwen death scene was so good. In a movie that was otherwise disappointing in many ways.
And his performance.
That moment, his performance is great, and that moment is completely fantastic. I don't know that I could pick out a single moment other than say that I think the big strength of those films are just the relationship between Peter and Gwen. Like every moment that Andrew and Emma are on screen together, they have, other than Tony and Pepper, I think the best on-screen comic book relationship, the chemistry, the dynamic. Of course, it didn't hurt that they became actually romantically involved off screen as well. But I mean, I that's just the strength of it to me. So it's just his interaction with Emma Stone. All right, what's next?
From Andy, putting glass in your sandals at the start of Moon Knight is not that great. You want to impress me? Put Legos in those sandals instead.
Oh my God. I mean, come on. Who has not stepped on a Lego? Has anybody, like, that is seriously one of the most awful experiences. Like, because those things are sharp and they're strong and they're, no fun at all, man. No fun at all. All right, what's next?
Stubble McShave. Greetings to John, the Maharaja of Movie Talk, Rob, the Duke of Dope Discourse, Chris, the Countess of Cool, and Ray, the Grand Poobah of Great Grub.
The Grand Poobah of Great. I still just like Chef Pleasures.
Yeah.
The Grand Poobah of what?
Great Grub.
Great Grub.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I can't. Side note, when I hear the word Maharaja,
You only think of Moulin
You
Rouge.
think it's Temple of...
yes,
Yeah.
you knew.
Yeah.
You
Same.
knew. Yes. I didn't think anybody was going to get
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
The Maharaja.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of. Whenever I hear the word Maharaja, I think of Moulin Rouge. I
That's
love
cool.
it.
Very
I'm
nice.
so happy. Makes me so happy that you knew that. All right. Okay. What's next?
From Bama Ham Yum, my favorite username. I channeled my inner Chris Carr on the way to work today. Damn your car engine.
Oh, no.
No. Also, we can't say that about me anymore because I got a dope new car. So
All
you,
electric. An electric
you
car
gotta
getting out
channel
here.
me in that way, my friend. Go out and get a new car if you can.
All right. What's next?
Edgar Ramos, longtime watcher and first time super chat.
Thank you, Edgar.
Game day. Thanks
Game day.
Game
Rob, nothing from Rob.
Well, only because you know what? I might not be able to watch anything because I am sans TV.
Oh, that's because so you're not all. I guess the moving is the one part. Getting everything set up. Is
Yeah,
another
moving,
part.
setting up. There's the moving was supposed to
Dude,
be done.
no. Dead seriousness. Come watch it with us tonight.
You know what?
We're gonna get some food. We're gonna get some drinks. We're gonna hang out here. We're gonna watch some Moon Knight. Why don't you come join us?
I might just do that.
I think you really should. I think you really should. It's not that late. It's like the show's
No.
only 2 hours long. So come on out and join us for this. I think that'd be great.
Come on in for the big win.
Yes. All right. What's next?
From Caden, take these reviews how you want, but I'd bet a lot of the hate is directed towards JK and not the actual movie. Remove the art from the artist, folks.
But okay, I want to. While I did say myself, I said, look, that there was a couple, very small number, but still a couple that I felt like they were cautioning more about that than the other. The reality is, people who do this for a living, they're really not swayed that much by that. I mean, it's like they watch the movie and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I know we as individuals, it is a natural reaction for us that when somebody likes something that we don't like, or let's go the other way, doesn't like something that we want to like, we try to come up with an excuse. We try to come up with a reason. There's actually an external thing. They can't possibly not like this thing I'm looking forward to. No, they just really don't like it. Is there maybe 1 to 3% that maybe sometimes that becomes a bigger issue at play? Hey, we're all human, so I'm sure maybe there is. But I'm also, again, just because I know so many of these people, that is a very, very, very small percentage. Like there's a lot of actors who do things I don't like, but I still really like the movies they're in, depending on whatever. And I think most people are like that too. So It's a part of the conversation. There's no way around that. But I really don't think that's. I don't think, to quote Vision, I don't think there's any causality here. I really don't think there's a general causality. But that's just my take on it. All right. Thanks a lot for writing that in, Caden. All right. What's next?
From I Love You More Than My Kids.
That's wise. That's wise.
What did Mr. Spock find in Captain Kirk's toilet? The captain's log.
Boo.
Wow, that's one we've never heard before.
That's first
I've
time right
never
here.
heard that before.
First time right here, baby.
No, I've never heard it before. Ray liked
That's
it.
good.
All right.
What? What's
As
wrong?
soon as I say boo, Ray's like,
Oh, no. That was funny. Captain's log. Split that log.
split that.
Turn around and split that log with your pee.
How are you peeing, Raymond? That's an intense.
It's later.
scene.
It's later in the show. Don't ask me about my toilet games.
That's for after dark.
Wow, dude.
Well,
Oh, by the way, speaking of Star Trek, the Picard. The Picard.
Please don't follow up.
People are telling me in the chat the Picard teaser just came out for the next season
You mean the next
Next
episode?
season?
or next episode. People are
Okay.
oh yeah, next episode.
The Picard,
All right.
Anyway.
Let's keep going.
I thought you were going to split
What's
that.
next?
from Matt, you officially have me excited for Ambulance, John. All their box office is from your show.
I mean, I don't know how I got excited. I'm not particularly excited
I
for
kind
it.
of am.
I mean, so Aaron and I are going to go watch it. Oh my gosh. Aaron and I are going to go watch it tonight at Universal. I love going to Universal, so that's good. But yeah, we'll see. Aaron and I will do an out of the theater reaction tonight, how it is. I know she's excited for it, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not thinking it's going to be a big bag of crap. I just have a hard time, especially after 6 Underground. It's hard for me to get to invest in, and I'm a Michael Bay guy. I am a Michael Bay guy, but I don't know. The trailers for this don't really do it for me. But we'll find out. All right, what's next?
All right, from Andy. If I have a girlfriend and she breaks up with me at an AMC theaters and that heartbreak feels awful, can I sue AMC theaters for false advertising?
Yes. First of all, I wish I'm trying to find a legal precedent with my legal background to try to find a way just to sue AMC, get an injunction put against them to stop them from playing that damn fucking ad. Can we please stop? I'm here. You don't have to ask me to come to AMC theaters. I'm here. It's so irritating, especially when I just sat through 28 minutes of fucking trailers, waiting for my movie to start, and finally you play the final trailer.
I mean, in those 30 minutes, though, I'm like, shit, where am I?
Yes.
Oh, an AMC.
Yes, I always
Okay.
forget. By
Each
that
time.
time, I always forget what movie am I here to see again.
Man.
I cannot remember this. Okay. Anyway, okay, finally, the last trailer's over. And then you see those damn high-heeled shoes stepping into a puddle or something. And Nicole Kidman, goddess among humans. Absolute goddess among humans is she. But I'm just stop. Stop playing the ad telling me to come to AMC theaters when I'm already in the damn fucking theater. Stop it. Just stop. Don't do it anymore. Desist. Cease. Anyway, it's really irritating me. And I know I'm going to have to sit through that damn thing again tonight. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow. And Thursday when I see Sonic. Anyway, yes, let's get some kind of legal avenue to stop this madness. All right, what's next?
All right, from Jay Bling. After SNL did short ass movie, Netflix actually decided to put a section for such movies.
Oh, did they really? By the way, we talked about it yesterday. I sent it to you guys.
Oh my God.
Did you see that
Yeah.
SNL skit? So obviously, look, there's no getting around it. Somebody at SNL watches the John Campea Show and are fans of Rayora because that video was completely made for Rayora.
I couldn't believe it.
If you guys haven't seen it yet, you got to look up short ass
It's so
movie
fun.
SNL. on
It's
YouTube.
really good.
It's a really good song.
It's a
Yeah,
really good
it's Ray's
song.
number one
That's a
song
good
of all
episode
time.
as a whole.
Good references.
Great.
All right, what's next?
From Aaron Stanwood, this super chat is for Chris because she keeps name dropping my favorite musical, Repo the Genetic Opera. Oh, cool, Aaron. That's awesome.
Here's a funny thing. I was trying to decide how I can say this.
Uh-oh.
Let's just say I was associated with somebody who is, you know what?
You know what?
I'm just not gonna say anything.
Yeah, let's
Filter.
not
I'm not going to spill the tea as you sip your tea. I'll tell you guys off
I want to
camera.
know things at the end of the show.
I'll tell you guys off camera. There's a little something scandalous.
Ooh.
Little scandalous
Okay.
pertaining to that movie and whatever, but I'll save that for off camera. I won't out it publicly.
I like
All right, what's
Rico's
next?
genetic coffee.
From Phil L. Rob, happy first contact day.
Thank
there
you.
we
It's
go.
nice to have some Star Trek support.
Only 41 more years until contact with the Vulcans.
I know. I
It's
mean,
not so
Right
far
around
away.
the corner.
I plan on being here.
Right around when the Flash is going to come out. It's
Yeah.
going to be great.
Oh.
It's going to be
What if the
fantastic.
Vulcans land and it's somebody that looks just like Ezra Miller, and that was, I mean,
It's a harbinger of things.
he
to
kind of
come.
looks like a Vulcan. He'd be a good Vulcan.
All right, what's next?
From Big D Studios Entertainment, 1 of 3. Hey, John, granted, some Marvel films and shows are bigger hits than others. What SMH is, though?
SMH.
Shake my head.
Yeah.
What makes me shake my head is though that some DC characters are lovable. Why can't DC stick to one actor and be successful with him or her? Then they would. Then they wonder why they fail more often. I could be wrong, but I think that's partly why Marvel has more success.
And
Oh, there we go. Who do you blame for something like that? Production, studio, director? Keep up the great work. Thanks for your time. P.S. Seeing Ambulance Friday. Big JG fan. I'll let you know. Jake Gyllenhaal fan. I'll let you know my thoughts. Enjoy Aliens, Rob.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not completely sure what it is Big D's asking.
He's asking like, since Marvel keeps like usually the same actors and we get attached to them, do you think that's why DC is part of the reason why DC is not successful?
No.
Because they're constantly changing their main superheroes.
Yeah, no, because they're not. What changes have they done? Like, we haven't had a replacement for Henry Cavill yet.
Well, we've had 3 Jokers though, like in like a short, like I mean, one after the other.
But here's the thing: like, Marvel comes out of the gate and they're successful. Marvel comes out of the gate and people like and enjoy the Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and they like and enjoy Chris Evans as Captain America, and they like and enjoy Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and they like and enjoy Scarlett Johansson, whatever, and their movies work. DC comes out of the gate and they don't. All due respect to the great HC, to Henry Cavill back there. All due respect. It's one of the greatest comic book films of all time. Everybody knows I adore that movie. But all due respect, it doesn't matter that I adore it. The reality is the reception to that was very divided. It had, let's say, marginal success at the box office. Did not get the love from the audience. To this day, whenever I talk about the greatness of Man of Steel, I'm inundated with responses. Man of Steel sucks! And that's fine. If you didn't like Man of Steel, you didn't like Man of Steel. That's totally cool. But that had nothing to do with them. Oh, if they just kept Henry. Well, no, they did keep Henry, and he kept doing them, and people just failed to see the glory of Henry Cavill as Superman. That had nothing to do with whether they kept him or moved him or stuff like that. So, unfortunately, no. See, that would only make sense if Marvel and DC both launched their movies and they had the equal amount of success. And they had the equal amount of success, and then DC started changing some actors out, and then DC started to drop off. That's not what happened. DC came out way slower out of the gate, was never able to catch up ground with Marvel, and it is what it is. So really, character changes had nothing to do with it.
I will say, I am attached to, like, let's say Chris Evans playing Captain America. It'll be hard for me to welcome another Captain America in the future, because like I was attached to that actor playing that role. But I don't feel anything like that for any of the DC characters with their actors. It's same with Robert Downey Jr. Like, he's attached to Iron Man for me.
I mean,
So
I do for Henry Cavill as Superman. I do for Ben Affleck as Batman.
All right.
But, you know, they're going to have to move on. And by the way, so Marvel is changing. Chris Evans isn't Captain America anymore.
Nope.
Robert Downey Jr. isn't Iron Man anymore.
We'll see how that goes then.
They'll both be back.
But you know, though, in
Scarlett Johansson isn't Black Widow anymore.
Yeah.
But in the case of what Marvel's doing, it's within continuity within the
Right.
films.
Sure, yeah.
So and with DC, yes, ma'am.
No.
Oh, and within,
good.
right, within continuity, I think that you know, we're seeing the Batman Robert Pattinson is, I think, like the Nolan movies, he's going to be in a trilogy of films that's about that iteration of Batman. There is no wider universe that he's supposed to participate in, so I would not expect to see him playing Batman in another iteration of, say, like another Flashpoint movie.
All right. Before we keep going on and finish off with all your questions, guys, we are going to go to one more sponsor today, the good folks over at Vuori. Guys, we want to take a minute and thank a sponsor of today's video, Vuori. Now, you know, Ann and I like to work out and train several days a week, but the thing is, I want to be comfortable and not look like a slob at the same time, and I often have a hard time finding something that does both. But Vuori, everything is designed to work out in, but it doesn't look or feel like it's made to be worked out in. It is so comfortable, you will want to wear this stuff all the time. Now, you guys know I like some flexibility and versatility in the clothes that I wear, but that's where Vuori comes in. See, it can be used for just about any activity like running, training, swimming, yoga, but it's also great just for lounging around or going out on the weekends in. For example, take the men's core shorts. These are the most comfortable and one of the best looking pairs of shorts that you can own, and they're versatile. One pair of shorts for just about every sport that you can play. Or take the men's Sunday performance jogger. These pants are perfect for lounging around in or going out for a good run. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our viewers, they are offering 20% off your very first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/Campea. That's VUORI.com/Campea. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/Campea and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. And a big thank you to the folks at Vuori for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Absolutely the most comfortable pair of track pants I've ever owned in my life. All right. Let's now finish off here, guys, and keep going through the rest of your questions. What do we have up here next?
Next, we are going to MP. Hey, John, Rob, Chris, and Ray. I am psyched for that Star Trek, the motion picture in May.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you guys usually use a delivery app for food, or do you like to cook?
Both. Honestly, like the thing is, Ann and I both work full-time, and we're often both work right through when dinner time. And so then when we're both finally free, like if we're both done and free like around 5 or 6 o'clock, then we'll go, okay, let's cook. And that's when I love using things like HelloFresh and things like that, who are sponsors of this show, by the way. But you know, if it's like one of us isn't done till like 7:30, it's like, all right, off to Lazy Dog we go, or off to, you know, Chili's, or off to wherever. Then we just hop in the car and go somewhere. What about you guys?
I cook everything myself.
I know that.
Yeah, I love doing that. The meal packs, I'm always like, don't you talk down to me. But that being said, I also live next to a Trader Joe's. So when I also have those nights where I don't get done teaching or doing auditions till 8, I can walk over there and get something pre-made. But if you're interested in learning how to cook, there's a really, really great app from the guys over at Sorted. I love their cooking channel. And they do something called Sidekick, and it helps you eliminate food waste, walks you step by step through how to cook something. There's timers. It's fantastic.
By the way, also, you can go on Masterclass,
Yes.
another sponsor of the John Campea Show, and check out, including Chef Ramsay's got some stuff on there, like a whole bunch of cooking
Learn
stuff.
how to debone a chicken. It is transformative.
Can you do it? Have you tried?
I've started to and failed.
Since you mentioned that on this show, I got to tell you, I've got a fascination to try it.
We got to do it. We got to do it. We'll do one together.
What's next?
All right. From John D. Hey guys, love the show so much. In honor of the late great Taylor Hawkins, any interest in watching Studio 666? By the way, Rob is the freaking man.
We listen, when the trailer for Studio 666 came out, we were all like, oh my God, this looks awesome. I gotta check it out. But I never did get around to it. So I absolutely still 100% want to watch it. I thought the trailer looked hilarious, and I do want to see it. Have any of you guys had a chance to
No,
check
but
it out
I
yet?
really want to see it.
I want to see it
I
too.
think we all want to see it. All
I'll
right,
probably
what's
just
next?
buy the physical media disc, you know.
From Leah Liang, finally watched Morbius. It's a film that existed. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's definitely a movie with a beginning, a middle, and an end, some credits and stuff. Totally a movie. All right, what's next?
From Milo, flying to Toronto tomorrow.
Nice.
Going to do all the typical tourist stuff, but do you have any hidden gems?
Honestly, I'm not the person to give you that, because I have not like actively hung out in Toronto in 10 years. It's just been so I could tell you some places, but I don't even know if those places exist anymore. I have not been home to see my family, thanks COVID, for 2.5 years. I was supposed to go home to see my family last week, but then everything started to happen with the signing the lease of a new studio space and all that kind of stuff. And we had a whole bunch of sponsor stuff. So I had to delay that trip again. I've not seen my fucking mom in like 2.5 years. I haven't seen my mom or dad. I haven't seen my sisters, my brother, my nieces and nephews. I love living down here. I do. Don't get me wrong. But damn, I'm looking forward to the day that I can just move back home. It's just because
What are we gonna do?
I'm a mama's boy. I miss my mom.
Hey,
I miss my mom.
I will say Canada still has Toys R Us, baby.
They do. They do have still Toys R Us. And one thing Bravery liked about that. All right, what's next?
From Tyler Pfeiffer. Thoughts on the Justified sequel series with Timothy Olyphant returning to ooze swagger across the screen?
Never watched Justified.
Me neither.
And I love
need
Timothy
to.
Olyphant. I love Timothy Olyphant. I've never watched Justified. And it sounds like a show that's right up my alley, but I've never seen it. You haven't seen it either?
I watched a few. I didn't watch it religiously, but it's one of those shows where I caught it and I was like, this is really good. I didn't quite know everything that was going on, but he was great in it.
Is his whole career now about having his old shows resurrected again? Because Westwood did it. Now Justified's doing it again.
You remember the movie Go that Doug Lyman directed after Swingers?
That was
forever ago.
Yeah.
He was in that.
And the big light, like a stoplight, was the big
Yeah. I mean, I really like that movie. I own that movie. I haven't watched it in
it's
ages.
been a long time since I watched that.
I'm gonna go watch it.
All right, what's next?
Gary Madigan. Congrats on The Office, John. You've come a long way.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember when I walked, because Rob, you were with me the first time, and Ray, you were there too. When we went to go look at this office, this is back in January. That's how long this has been in process. So back in January, we first walked into that place, and it's a little overwhelming because it's a big space.
Yeah.
But I remember walking in, and I wrote about this on my Facebook the other day, thinking, I remember back in the AMC and Collider days and walking into space they'd give us and think to myself, well, this is never something I could do on my own. I could never get to a point where we had like a staff that the corporation pays for and actual studio space that a corporation pays for. This is not something I could ever do on my own. And then when we walked into that space, there was something about just knowing it was a possibility. I'm not going to lie. It's a really fucking good feeling. There's a really good feeling. And, we just came off our biggest month ever. March, we had 7.2 million views in March. That's by far the biggest month we've ever had. I don't expect April to be the same size.
It was me.
It
was me.
Yeah.
And Chris and Ray.
Oh, yay.
And of course you.
And everything. But we have been on this upward growth trajectory for a while now. And
I bet not Ezra Miller it.
Now that it's kind of becoming a reality and like we signed the lease on the space and we're moving in, it's like, you know what, guys? You don't need a corporate overlord to do what you want to do. Because this is an overused phrase, but it really applies here. If I can do it, you better believe you can do it too. And your thing may not be getting a studio space or whatever, but whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or do, if this fucking loser doing a YouTube channel in his garage can do something like this, you can do what you want to do too.
John,
So
I have to add to that. I believe next week is my 7th anniversary on YouTube. The first time I was ever on YouTube was in April of 2015 on the 6th episode of Collider Heroes.
I still remember your first
and
episode.
Guess who I was on YouTube with for the very first time I was on YouTube? This guy.
It was me.
John
Kismet.
Campea and John Schnepp began my YouTube career 7 years ago. I don't know I have to look to see the exact date, but it was the 6th episode. It was AMC Heroes then. I don't think it was Collider Heroes.
No, it was
yet.
still AMC Heroes at the time. Yep.
And that I believe
it was the red set. Then we turned it
red
green.
set.
I believe that it's my anniversary with you is next week. 7 years.
Aw, what are
7
you guys going to
years.
do for
We
each
should
other?
go see Chef Rigo.
Yeah, we should, man.
We got to go see Chef Rigo. We got to do that soon. All right. Thanks for that. I appreciate that very much, Gary. All right, what's next?
From Elizabeth Harado. It's game day, Rob.
Gay.
At least that's one positive for today.
Damn right. And I'm dead serious. You got to come over tonight. Come watch this with us.
I actually, it would
We're
work
gonna get
out
some
well
food.
because
We're gonna
you know what tonight is? Tonight is when the dogs officially move
Oh,
for good.
wow. So you're gonna
Because
have the
they've
dogs
been
over
so
there.
disrupted and all this moving has driven them
Little Sebastian.
Oh my. That,
Wait a minute. Did you literally, honestly name the puppy Sebastian?
yeah.
Is
Honey
that a
Little.
Parks and Rec thing?
No.
I'm calling him Little Sebastian.
Sebastian,
Little
Elizabeth
500
wanted to
times
have,
seven.
if she ever had a son, she wanted to name him Sebastian. So now we have Gilbert, Tallulah, and Sebastian. If you look at them, they're all color coded, so they look like coffee. So Sebastian's the most cinnamon coffee, and then Tallulah's a little less, and then Gilbert's more coffee with a lot of milk. And I'm like, did you plan this? She's an artist. I put Sebastian on my Instagram feed, so check him out. He doesn't even look real.
All right, what's next?
From Mark Hansen. Grats on the expansion and success, crew.
Thank you.
I have followed you and your shows longer than most TV shows, which is crazy. Excelsior.
It is funny how many people write in and say, like, I get this. I just got it again last night. Somebody wrote in and said, damn it, I watch your show more than I watch your YouTube channel more than I watch Netflix. It's like,
Wow.
I mean, thank you, man. Like, that's an awesome thing to say. So thank you so much for that. All right, what's next?
All right, from Seconds from Disaster. Rob, congrats on the move and congrats to the whole crew in the new studio. Glad to be on the journey with all of you. Best live stream on YouTube.
And listen, as somebody who's moved a lot the last number of years, I have not envied you.
Dude,
that's a whole process. I hate the process.
It was so nice to get everything out of the house.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
We're not quite, and then we still got to deal with the landlords and stuff and get it all. But it's moving is terrible.
Yep. Hate,
and especially
moving.
when you have like 2,000 omnibuses. It's really awful.
Actually, I'm curious. Have you, Ray, ever moved? When's the last time you moved? Because
Back in '93, from
93.
it was just from down the street though. It was like all
Okay.
across the railroad track, so not really from like a city to a different city.
man, I hate moving. I hate moving so much. All right.
I hated moving the furniture just to paint the inside of the house, where you just have to move it into another
Yeah,
room.
again, yeah.
That even sucks.
Seems so weird. All right, what's next?
From Adam Mooney. Hey, John, did you check out the new Outer Range trailer from Amazon Prime today? Looks interesting with Thanos himself, Josh Brolin starring.
I've not even heard of it.
I saw a trailer for that, like this weird, like religious branding. It looks great.
What's it called again? Outer Range?
Outer Range.
All right. I'll check it,
It
out.
looks
If it's
intense.
Amazon Prime. I like Josh Brolin, so I'll check that out. Thank you for putting that on my radar, Adam. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's next?
Kevin Joyce. Severance is sublime. At the moment, best show on TV, in my opinion.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd say it's the best show on TV, but it does have me interested. Like I'm not wowed by it every week, but I'm always like, oh damn, I gotta watch next week. Like it's such an interesting concept for a show. Ben Stiller does a great job directing that thing. All right, what's next?
All right, from Attack of the Mooshie. Rob, are you picking up Moon Knight Volume 1?
The Moon Knight it's black, white, and red or something. The new one. I have not picked that up yet because I wait for the collected hardcovers, but I'm absolutely going to.
All right, what's next?
Blake62. Congrats on the new studio. No offense to prior iterations, but this is the best crew you've had. Here's to continued success.
Well, listen, honestly, I have been so fortunate in my career to work with some really, really good people. I ain't going to be facetious. I've also worked with some dead weight, but I have been very fortunate to work with
Currently happening right now. That's a current status.
But no, in seriousness, I have worked with some really fantastic, wonderful people. And, this is always an evolving thing, right? And it will continue to evolve into the future. But yeah, I've always been really lucky, and particularly now, like I honestly, every day that I wake up knowing that we're going to do the show together, it gets me out of bed. I'm like, yeah, got to run there, get ready. I'm going to get the stuff ready because we're going to have a fun time doing the show today. And it's a really enjoyable.
It's pretty damn. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
It's so fun.
It has a lot of fun doing this. So, and you guys make it fun for us to be here. So thank you for that. All right, what's next?
From Kelsey Channel. New name, The Fellowship of the Screen.
No, probably not. But I love the attempt at the Lord of the Rings reference there. Always appreciate that, Kelsey.
appreciate you,
All right,
Kelsey.
what's next?
Peter Cunnington. Amy Schumer was going to tell a joke about Alec Baldwin and Rust, but the Academy said no.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
good.
and you know what? I read the joke. It's like, well, that wasn't even funny. So, like, if you want to do something edgy, you got to make sure it's funny. If you just do something edgy and it falls flat, then it becomes controversy.
Yeah.
If you do something edgy but people laugh, then it's a great joke. So yeah, I think it was probably a good one for her to ditch on. All right, what's next?
Jedediah Elias, get Anne her own console, John, because a brand new Monkey Island game returned to Monkey Island later this year. New trailer online.
Did they
now.
just announce that?
Yeah, and a
Apparently
trailer's
trailer.
Oh my God, that series is so good.
I only heard about this morning. You got okay. So what, Jedediah? By the way, no E on Ann. By the way, Jedediah. But you guys don't understand. Like my wife loves Monkey Island, and when I discovered, I was going through when I signed up for PlayStation Now, I was going through a bunch of the old titles, the archive titles, and like Monkey Island 2 was there. And it's like what? And it instantly got downloaded, and she started playing Monkey Island 2 right back into it again. And Ray started telling me the stories. Oh my God, John, you have no idea. Like she was playing this all the time.
What's the main character name? Thirtwhip?
I don't know, whatever the
Thirtwhip or
pirate.
something like that. Captain Thirtwhip or something
But
like
Ray's like, John, she just play it all the time. So yeah, I cannot wait to tell. I hope I'm the first one to tell her. She's off at the office right now, but I hope I'm the first one to tell her about this because she's gonna be so damn excited. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, technologically advanced human ancestors built flying megastructures to travel through space. They ended up being wiped out by AI nanorobots. Did I just describe Stargate SG-1 or Moonfall?
Ooh.
that. Sounds good. I should see it.
And therein lies the importance of execution.
Yes, it ain't about the concept. It's about execution. It always, always is. That's a very good life lesson there, Chris. Thank you for bringing that in.
I pre-ordered Moonfall.
Hey, hold on. Is
4K.
That's
Moonfall
right.
on one of the streaming apps right now?
It's on Netflix, I think.
Is it?
Isn't
I
it
think
on
it
Netflix
is
already?
I think
I am
it is.
rewatching
Guys
that.
in the live
I'm
chat,
gonna
can you
rewatch
confirm
it.
that for us and let us know? Is it on?
Somebody told me that. I don't know if it's true. I could be wrong.
I gotta tell you what, I am very excited about never watching Moonwatch again. Moonfall again. Moonwatch.
Moonwatch
That's
sounds
something
great.
completely different. All right, what's next?
From Isaac, for Rob. I've never gotten to Star Trek because of the sheer amount of shows that have come out. Can you give me a guide into how to get into Star Trek?
Well, the real answer to that is just the originals.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, that is the right answer, John. People ask me this all the time, and I'm going to make my definitive list of Star Trek. A Star Trek primer, where you can watch from all the shows that end in 2005. A Star Trek primer of what you need to watch to understand Star Trek. So it's not everything. There's a way to come up to speed. And I'm going to do that because I get asked this question at least 5 times a week. Why don't you do it? I'm going to.
All
I
right,
promise.
that's something you are uniquely positioned to do. All right, what is next?
Medicated movie reviews. You have a 5-gallon bottle and a 3-gallon bottle and need to measure out exactly 4 gallons. Go.
That is Die Hard 3. And good Lord, I cannot remember the solution to it. I cannot remember the solution to
And
it.
you have Sam Jackson go, no. Wait.
Yeah. Just pour out the. I can't remember the solution
Yeah.
to it, but that's a Die Hard 3 thing.
I mean,
cannot
whenever
remember
I
the
hear that,
solution.
you know what I hear? The solution is, and take back one kadam for the Hebrew God whose ark this is.
Is that Salah?
That's from the guy who has the
The
ark,
thing, yes.
because he doesn't tote only has one side of the ark. So whenever I have a problem to solve,
You just go to that.
I go to that.
That's your go-to.
And
All right, what's next?
From Ismail Montoya. Hey guys, I went to see the main event at the movies right now, Morbius.
Morbius.
You know what? I loved it. I mean, it's the best thing. Yeah, right, it sucked.
Oh,
Oh, he didn't like it either?
but you know what the funny thing is? Let me just bring this up
He's
here.
the
if I
cookie
can.
man right
Let me
there.
See, Morbius,
I
Rotten
think so.
Tomatoes. Right now, Morbius on Rotten Tomatoes, it has gone from 15% to 16. It's
Wow.
gone up, going up, heading towards that 105%. But it's now got 2,500 verified audience reviews, and it's holding at 70%.
Coming for Morbius, baby. I'm coming for you.
it's funny that Morbius became notorious since it came out.
Morbius.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
All right, what's next?
Right, from Al Renshaw. I like the idea of Starfleet HQ. Hashtag I stand with Rob.
Yeah, well, you can sit with Rob too, because that ain't happening now.
Oh, damn.
That
Okay.
ain't happening. All right, what's next?
Chef Rigo.
Chef Rigo.
Jeffrey, go.
Chances of Lethal Weapon 4 for Movie Club? It's by far the best of the franchise. By the way, Rob, give Ray the Godfather game already. LOL.
I agree. It is the best. I think the 4 is the best. That's the one
It's
with
so
Jet
fun.
Li. and like one of the most unbelievable endings where where these two old cops are like, okay, let's go fight Jet Li. We can take them together. No, you couldn't. But still, whatever. I agree. It is my absolute favorite of the franchise. What's your favorite of the franchise?
Oh, probably 2.
2's great.
Well, I only remember watching 1, and I only remember one part where there's a whole bunch of money, and he says to take some for himself. Mel Gibson tells Danny Glover, "Hey, go ahead and take a stack of money for yourself." I don't know. Maybe I'm just making this up. I don't know.
I can't remember.
You know, I own them. I have the box set. I haven't watched those movies in forever.
I'll let you watch them, Rob.
4.
4, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, 4's my favorite. All right, what's next?
From MP, I hear DK Metcalf eats 4 bags of candy in a day.
I read this.
I wonder if it's the Unreal candy that Tom Brady eats. That has more protein and less sugar. Oh, that
Yeah,
shit's
so
good.
DK Metcalf, who is the freaking human Flash, I read this article the other day. He eats like 4 bags of candy and like 1 meal a day. I'm like, all right, okay, all right. How do I subscribe to this diet?
And how do you look like that?
And how? I'll tell you how he looks like that. He does the kind of exercise that burns 6,000 calories a day. I mean, that's how
Yeah.
he looks like that.
Let's cut that powder out of it. I'm all in, baby.
Yeah.
That's why, like, more than almost any other kind of athlete, like basketball players, when they retire, like a lot of them will balloon in weight really quickly because they've gone like 8, 9, 10 years of eating a certain way because they are like burning thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of calories a day. And all of a sudden they're not doing that kind of exercise, but they still eat the way they've
Yeah.
always eaten. And then all of a sudden their body weight goes up. It's, I can't even imagine. That is crazy the way Metcalf is eating. All right, what's next?
From Connor Lee, hello. I want to get into reading the Moon Knight comics. Where should I start?
I always tell everybody this. A Moon Knight omnibus recently came out that has some of the Werewolf by Night stuff, the Hulk backups, and then the first bit of the Sienkiewicz Doug Mensch run. It's a great starting point, but it's not a great starting point for the Moon Knight that you're watching now.
Yeah, I don't know if
If
there
that makes
is
any
in the
sense.
comics a good starting
Yeah,
point to watch the
it's.
show.
I mean, the dissociative identity disorder thing came. I think Jeff Lemire was.
Yeah.
That was where it started.
Well, and I think, too, it depends on which writer you want, right? 'Cause
Right.
You could go Bendis, you could go Lemire, and
Yeah.
see who you like more.
Yeah.
If you're, like, really into Lemire's...
See, to me, I mean, Moon Knight was this romantic noir character, this Batman-esque character. That's what I liked about him. It was like watching a noir movie, and the iteration we're watching now is not that.
All right, what's next?
From Moist Fruity Pebble Nippy Nipples.
All right.
The Ray Aura Hour. Ray is the heart and soul of the show.
I think it's
There we
safe
go.
to say Ray is if not the spine, he's the heartbeat.
You know what, though? I would watch a Ray Aura Hour show. I mean, can you imagine? I would just love to hear you opine on random stuff.
I would probably be off air.
I would watch that. I think it'd be pretty funny.
I have some random thoughts. I don't know. It just may not make sense.
It would be funny because the show could be the Ray Aura Hour, but it would only be a 30-minute show.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to go sleep for the
Yeah,
Yeah.
multiverse of madness. This is the real. I'm the real multiverse of madness, baby.
All right, what's next?
Brooks Kirk. John, I'm making a Crow remake. Care to cameo?
I mean, so's everybody.
Yeah.
And they'll never happen. I still don't believe it.
That should be the new name of the studio.
There we
the
go.
Crow.
Crow.
No, it should just be called the Crow remake.
Crow remake.
Something's gonna happen. Maybe someday. All right, what's next?
For Taki75, the 3 scourges of modern cinema are 1, the shaky cam.
Yes.
2, the pitch black cinematography.
Yes.
3, the frantic 100 cuts per second editing.
Yeah. It's I can't disagree with that. Like, and that's why watching Batman was so good. Like, look, there's a difference between camera movement and shaky camera. There's a difference. And like, you just go and watch Snake Eyes. It's like, how can you blow ninjas fighting? How do you blow that? I mean, I remember watching Snake Eyes, and I won't go off of my half-hour diatribe about Snake Eyes, but I go into Snake Eyes so excited because I want to see ninjas. And
Don't
they have
we
this
all?
fight where Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are fighting like 100 different guys. And all you can do is hear the banging and oofing and clanging because you can't see shit. Because the camera's doing this the whole time. It's like I heard some punches land. I heard some swords hit each other. No idea what's going on. You watch Batman, the camera's in movement so often, but it's moving to give the audience the ability to take in the action on the screen. Big difference. And I totally agree with you, Taki. Those are 3 of the big blights on cinema today. All right, what's next?
Another from Tyler Pfeiffer. I also wanted to ask, any chance we could get a Lord of the Rings movie club?
1,000%. Yeah. And that'll probably be done as a series. We'll probably do those 3 back to back. But a 1,000% we will be doing the Lord of the Rings films.
I
No
can't wait
doubt
to
about
see
it.
Ray survive that
The
one.
longest movie club.
Longest movie clubs. They're going to be great. I cannot. Maybe we should do that next.
Yeah.
I-
Do all 3 in one night.
Short ass movie. That's our next show, Ray or a short ass movie
There we
club.
That's actually, that would be, we should
the
do that
best
like
90-minute movies ever made.
once a month. Yeah, the Ray or a short
The Ray or
movie
a
club.
short-ass movie
Love that.
club.
Ninja Turtles.
Here we go. All right, what's next?
From Yaslo, have you seen Severance? Thoughts?
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot on the show. It's really
So
intriguing and
good.
interesting, very small scale. And the last cliffhanger of the last episode was the best cliffhanger they've had so far. So,
So good.
Does the show Is the show a little creepy to you in the beginning?
yes.
Yeah.
I was creeped out a little bit
It
just
gets
because
more creepy as
there's
it goes.
nobody around. It felt like it was just him or
Well,
I'm
and
going to continue it.
It's particularly creepy if you have worked in a corporate setting too, because as outlandish as some of these things are, you're like, that is 1,000% corporate culture.
Yeah.
That is absolute. The parties, the jargon. Oh,
Who's ready for a melon party? That's what we should do in here one day. We're going to have a waffle party.
oh my gosh.
Dude, I have to tell you, I was hired once by Nike. They had like a corporate retreat in Huntington Beach, and I was there for a weekend filming, and it was the jargon and all the way they talk to each other. It kind of freaked me out too. Like for real, I'd never been around that before. I'm like, it's all team building, and I'm like, I don't belong here. But
People
they paid
saying
well. It was
synergy
a
like
fun
15
job.
times. It's weird.
Freakiest thing I ever saw, though, was, and I don't know if this is real or true or how real, or maybe it's true in some locations, but like Walmart, people have to start the day with like a cheer and a chant. I'm like, that feels, that
a lot
doesn't
of
feel culty at all.
we did that at Best Buy.
Yeah.
Best Buy does a little. It's like not a cheer, but it's like a group roundup.
See, that
and if
to me
they choose to
feels
cheer,
demoralizing.
then
We had a song at Flying Horseshoe Ranch summer camp.
that's
We
not-
sang that
at a
every
summer
day.
I could see that.
That's
All right.
cute.
All right.
What's next?
From Leo Liang. Congrats on the new Office Campea Crew $20 super chat too, by
Thank
the way.
you, Leo.
Thank you for keeping me sane every morning.
Aw, thank you so much for that, man. And yeah, we're really, and look, I'm going to let you guys know right now, okay? Straight up, I'm going to let you know. The new studio, if you're thinking, oh man, this new studio is going to look so good, it's going to look like shit. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Wait, what?
It will look like crap because I am not a designer, nor can I afford a designer. It's going to be some desks and chairs and us. It's just going to give us the space that fact checker Jonathan can start controlling the cameras and I can sit somewhere else. And it's just going to give us some flexibility. It ain't going to look great. All right.
You run a
It's gonna-
contest. Have viewers design a set, and we'll go build it.
we could never build the set though. That's the thing. They
Well,
can
it'd be
just-
funny to see what that version of it would look
I mean,
like.
that's true. There's probably a lot of not safe for work material. But yeah, just a heads up to everybody in advance. The sets will look like crap, but it's going to be more conducive to us doing the shows that we want to
You
do.
know, we could make it look like, I'm just going to throw this out one more time, Starfleet headquarters could look good.
You got $35,000 we can build that set
We'll
with?
do like a backdrop. It'll be
Yeah,
easy.
no,
It'll be easy.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And to have that little background ambient noises.
Oh, dude, that'd be
That you
so
hear in
cool.
the background
Come
of
on.
every Star Trek
It's
show. Yeah. All right, what's next?
awesome.
From Never Lose Your Nerd. I won't watch Flash with Ezra Miller in it.
I mean, look, listen. I can understand. I can. Because, I mean, if what's his name? House of Cards boy. Why am I
Kevin
freezing?
Spacey.
If Kevin Spacey put out a new movie tomorrow, I don't know that I could watch it. I don't know that I could watch it. So no judgment from me. What I would say though is just do try to remember that the movie is made by thousands of people. And Ezra Miller is just an actor. He's a guy who's playing a role. And, Andy Muschietti, he didn't do anything wrong, as far as we know. The other people involved in the film didn't do anything wrong. But again, I don't want to be hypocritical. I get it. There are sometimes some people, whether it's rational or not, that it's like, you know what? I see that person and I just can't get into it if I see that person. I respect that. I will like. I obviously don't like the type of behavior we're hearing Ezra Miller's getting involved in. I will still be able to watch the movie. But again, I have people that I wouldn't be able to watch. So yeah, I get it. I really do. All right, what's next?
From Fifi, to quote Jenny Carson, so did you hear? Ezra Miller is in the news again.
Was that a Carson way
That
of
was me
saying?
trying to be Carson.
Did he? It's like, what was that? That Swami character. He used
Oh,
to
yeah,
do?
and he'd put the card up and do the...
He'd give the question first and then read the. Yeah, that's right. All right, what's next?
Cincinnati's 5-star barber.
Yeah.
With an almost $20 super chat.
Oh, thank you,
Cincinnati.
Cincy.
What's up, my beloved Campea family? Rob, congrats on the move. Moving always sucks.
Always.
Pink always sucks. Pink sacks. Do as I sip on my Zevia cream soda with Jameson. I say NFL, watch out. That guy Joey B now has a line. So who day and hooray.
I don't know who Joey B is.
Joe Burrow.
Oh,
He has the offensive line now.
Bishop. I was talking about Aaron
I was
Donald.
thinking Darren's dog too.
Joey
Wow.
Bishop is
Joey
staring
Bishop.
up
By the way,
NFL.
let's give it up for Jameson and cream soda. See, cream soda. I'm just saying. Or
that would
creamy
ruin-
root
Except
beer,
don't
too.
give it up to Ezra.
That would just ruin the taste of the creamy soda, though. Listen, I am very excited to see the Bengals play. The Bengals are not my favorite team, but damn, they're a fun team to watch. You know what they are? They're the Cleveland Indians from Major League. That's the Cincinnati Bengals to me.
Why?
And I
Thank you, John.
and I just want to watch. They're fun to watch.
You
though.
know
This
what? If you really,
ragtag guys who cannot block, who
if you
cannot
really,
protect the
if you
quarterback.
really want to put equivalents, the Bengals are like the NBA's Grizzlies. They're the young, exciting team. May not have a chance to make it. May not make it, but they're fun to watch. I don't know.
cannot protect their quarterback. Apparently, I don't know. I can't help but cheer for them. I think they're fun to watch.
That
All right.
Major League reference, so kudos to you, sir.
All right,
Doesn't the
what's,
poster have a baseball with a feather on
Mohawk.
it? Yeah.
all right, what's next?
Jake G244. Have you guys seen the Netflix film with Randall Park called Always Be My Baby?
We've talked about it many times.
Keanu Reeves plays himself in a couple scenes, and it's hilarious.
It was hilarious.
The movie's great.
It
I
is
love
great.
that movie.
Love that movie.
I mean, in a world where all Netflix movies suck, with a few exceptions, this is one of the exceptions.
Ali Wong is great.
She's incredible.
Randall Park is so good in it. Like when he starts doing his rap and everything too, and Keanu Reeves. It's old story now where a famous actor plays a dick version of themselves, and it's been done 100 times now. But Keanu Reeves with Ali Wong in this,
So good.
so funny, so funny. By the way, I was just watching Ali Wong. Anna and I were watching Ali Wong's latest comedy special. She's had her kids now, right?
Yeah.
And she does this thing about. I want to tell you guys the truth about something. I want to cheat on my husband so bad. I want to cheat on him so bad. I work with all these guys now who look to me because I'm the rich, successful woman. I can fuck any one of these guys. She's going, it's like, oh my God. And Anne's like crying.
That movie's great because it's 1 hour, 41 minutes, baby.
Always be my maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but Randall Park, seriously, like he's gone from being Asian Jim to his turn on Fresh Off the Boat with
So good.
one of the top 3 funniest lines in television history. For those guys who haven't heard it, his employee comes up to him and asks him if he can take a vacation from work, to which he says, "Work is a vacation from poverty." That's one of the great lines. And then, of course, he's in WandaVision.
Yeah, he was great in WandaVision too.
They need to do. I still want to see that
I want the
X-Files
Jimmy Fallon
Dude.
show, yeah.
thing with him and
Dude.
Darcy.
Yeah.
I want to see that so bad. And then he does Always Be My Maybe. I don't know why he's not just an also starring guy yet. He
Yeah.
should be a big star. He's
Agents
so
of Sword.
fun.
Watching that movie too, I just like leaned over to Logan and was like, "Am I in love with Randall Park?"
Oh.
I
so
think I'm
great.
in love with Randall
awesome.
Park.
I love that movie.
He's so
Like,
great
not
in
a
it.
top 10 movie of all time, but it's a totally fun, charming little
So
movie.
charming.
It really is one of the great lines of all time.
Oh,
I love that she's a chef, too.
yeah, and she's a chef. Got it. You knew Ray would like that. All right, what's next?
From Hunter Pellegrino. Thoughts on the Futurama reboot? Also, do you enjoy the direction South Park is heading with more lengthy specials and shorter seasons?
Okay, as far as Futurama to me was always very hit and miss.
Yeah.
Like they would do like Zap Brannigan for me is always a hit. I love Zap Brannigan. I realized the death robots had a kill limit, so I sent wave after wave of my own men until they reached their kill limit. I mean, that's one of the best things ever. But so I'm give or take on Futurama, to be honest with you. I'm really liking the new South Park stuff.
You are?
I really am. The integrity stuff that they just like we're what's the name of the competitor across the street now?
It's like
Agrity or
I forgot what it was, but it was.
But I'm actually kind of digging it because their COVID special was hilarious.
Yeah. The ones they put on Paramount, they're pretty good, but the season itself, maybe I think there's 6 episodes. I gotta say, like 2 of them I liked. The other ones, because I rewatched South Park. Yeah, but we'll see. I can't judge that until after this season and this
is the
year.
one where Cartman becomes a real estate agent. Was that the
that
season?
one was good?
Oh my god!
Tesla,
Show me that. Have you seen
Tesla.
it?
No.
Cartman becomes a real estate agent. It's one of the funniest things of South Park I've seen since their World of Warcraft episode.
Did you see the people that were walking in that couldn't speak? Tesla.
Water bottle.
Metal
water bottle.
Metal water.
Pilates.
Edamame.
Tesla. Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's supposed to be these outer folks, Rob, that like drive Teslas and stuff like that, like maybe middle class, and all they can say is Tesla. Every time someone says them,
everybody
Tesla,
from the
Tesla.
city is moving out of the city into what's the name of their town in South Park? Moving into South Park, but all city people just talk Tesla, Pilates,
Water bottle.
That's correct.
Like holy crap, it's so good. All right, what's next?
From Brad Jobson sending a $20 super chat. Do you have plans to extend past TV and streaming in the future? I would love to see a show with Rob and Chris about comics. Having them discuss the finer points of Sandman would be amazing.
Here's the problem. There are only so many hours in the day. And we are running up against a wall as far as ways. People say, John, why don't you do a sports show? You love sports so much, blah, blah. I have no time. I don't have any time to do a sports show. Like when would I do a sports show? I'm working like 14 hours a day as it is.
We should just broadcast 24/7.
I mean,
and just to have a rotating cast of people that just come and do shows.
Just walk on.
So I won't go into details. I will say this. It has been pitched to me. The concept of, if you guys know Pluto TV, it has been pitched to me the concept of there being a John Campea channel on Pluto TV. And I don't know if we can do enough content. I mean, it would only have to be in 4-hour blocks. They would just run probably a 4-hour block like 6 times in the day or something like that. But still, we just don't have time. Like, I've got Rob busy doing stuff. Chris is not full time. So she's only here a certain amount of time. So I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but we just don't have time. So if that changes in the future, we will address that. If I can add like 3 or 4 more staff, but listen, for me to add 3 or more staff, I'm going to guilt shame my own audience. For us to add 3 or 4 more staff, I need about 600 of you more to join up as channel members. Right? You know what I mean? So we're doing the best. Whenever we get money into the channel, I always put it right back into our channel, getting more staff.
You've always
better
done that.
things.
I've always been impressed. Like you're always getting better camera equipment. You're always doing something to make the viewer experience
That ROI,
better.
your return on your investment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I have not given myself a raise 4 years.
But working with me is like a raise.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
that's
true.
like daily
We raise you up every day, John.
But you know what? Like, you guys would be, I think a lot of you would be shocked if you find out what I actually pay myself. I think I'm obviously not going to reveal that, but I think a lot of you would be surprised what I actually pay myself.
No, I kind of have an idea.
I take
And I appreciate
all
it.
the money that
I
comes
appreciate
in
it.
and I put it right back to try to make the show better for our audience, whether that means, trying to pay certain people more so they can have more hours to dedicate to our show, better gear, trying to get a studio so we can expand what we do for you guys. I mean, whatever. Every time we get in money, I put it right back into the show. And but for us to get like 3 or 4 more staff people, we're gonna need a lot of people to sign for channel memberships. But that's what we're doing, and that's where we're heading.
Our
All right.
show would be so cute, Rob. Our
It
show would
would.
be great.
I would watch it.
Well, we could pre-record something like that and drop it.
That's very true.
You know,
call it pull my issue, because that's what you call it when you go to the comic thing and you get your pull. Is that what they call it?
You get your pull list.
Yeah, your pull list. Yeah, so pull my issue or something.
Pull my
I was about
issues.
to say Chris on the Rob.
Come on, there's no way you could turn pull my issue into an innuendo. That was as safe as
or just
possible.
Chris and Rob have issues.
There we go.
Oh,
Now I want
On
to do the
Fox.
just because of the name.
That's real
on
good.
NBC.
That's real good.
Chris and Rob,
Chris and
we
Rob have
issues.
issues.
Nice.
Okay, now I want to think about it. Now
I
I'm
don't
gonna
teach
try
you
to
over the
Also-
summer.
do that.
So
Also, shout out to Brad Jobson, the hubs of Irene Jobson, our regular in the chat.
oh, you're Irene's husband?
Yep.
Good job, Brad.
Good job, Brad. All right. Anyway, thanks for that, Brad. All right, what's next?
From Christopher Brickner, I have the solution to WB's Ezra problem. Recast them with Barry, is it Cogan or Keegan?
I say Keoghan, but I could be
Keoghan.
wrong.
Druig and Eternals. The two look so identical, no one will know the difference.
But he's already in, he's sort of in DC. He's in the Batman universe now, but
He's an Eternal Annie's Joker.
yes,
Yeah.
sometimes he can be confused for Ezra Miller. You're not far off on that, Christopher. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw, United Federation of Ray.
There you go.
That's
the show.
so you approve of that Star Trek reference.
Put a big face of
There you
Ray.
go.
Just have a big flag with Ray.
Ray looking off.
You know, looking off into the future, like a yes, there it is.
There. That's
With a
it.
kebab in my hand
It'll be
and the
perfect.
moon.
That's got to be your like signet, your sigil. That'll be the I'll carry that flag
People
around.
who don't know anything, they'll be like, "Why is that dark Asian pointing at the moon with a stick of a kebab?"
All right, what's next?
You're cooking it.
CJ Rebirth. My fave Star Wars scene to this day is the whole Vader Anakin saving Luke from Palpatine. The music, Luke calling out to his father, chills.
I'll tell you that entire sequence of scenes is one of my favorite moments in movie history. The entire thing about the Vader Luke Emperor confrontation in the Emperor's throne room, the combination of the drama, the music in that sequence is
With the choral
Which
music.
movie is this from?
no,
Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
It is my favorite sequence, I think, in all of movie history. I just love it with the drama built into it and everything, and it's like, whoo, so good. It's so excellent. I love that. All right, what's next?
From Jordan Ellis, Batman show on Spotify sounds cool, but I'm looking forward to the new animated show by Bruce Timm on HBO Max. The original 90s cartoon is awesome.
What? I have heard mixed things. I've heard mixed things about the development of it. Like when they first shot, I think it was at DC Fandom, the first one. I think that's when they first showed the first thing of it, I think. And it's like, okay, that looks like it could be interesting. But I've heard some not so good things. But I mean, they may be wrong. So I don't know. I'm curious. I'm at least curious to see what they do.
I don't know how I didn't know about this now. I'm
Yeah,
losing
me
my
either.
mind.
Oh, you
Me
did?
either.
No.
I'm
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
for the
you-
last 2 years, I've just hidden in my house.
I'm sure you saw it and maybe forgot about it.
Maybe.
Because it wasn't on DC Fandom, so it could be.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
From Tim. For John, it's Adam Aaron. For Rob, it's new Star Trek. For me, it's Dan Snyder.
Oh, boy.
What about you, Chris and Ray? What or who grinds your gears? Festivus in April. Ooh, the airing of grievances. Who
You know what?
pisses
We
you
could.
off?
I need time to think about it. Maybe we can move on to the next question, and then I'll just blurt it out when I
Okay,
figure it
what
out.
about you, Chris? Somebody.
I mean, I don't like Jared Leto. I think we've established that.
That much?
But not to the level that you guys don't like
Yeah, like where you're
Aaron
bringing
and
them
Star
up.
Trek. Yeah. I feel like I like most things pretty fine. I'm
You're just
nice.
such an agreeable, delightful
I'm
person.
just a fucking ray of sunshine. I just like everyone.
All right, what's next?
From
Oh,
Glenn-
pickles. Pickles.
That's not a
pickles?
person.
Just pickles. That's the only thing I can think of.
I love pickles.
I've
hate
tried to
pickles,
eat you
too.
for so long, and you still are gross.
I like that you're
You still-
addressing them formally. Dear pickles.
It's not like I'm
I love
denying
Yeah,
it.
you dress them. You like they're
You,
people.
They're viewers.
I
They
just love
stream in.
how Ray makes his proclamation, then looks out into the
Just
the
there's
horizon.
a jar of elastic just tuning in.
All right, what's next?
From Glenn Mark, Momoa, Hiddleston, Houston, Evans, Cooper, Reedus,
All crows.
Sarsgaard. Cluster them together and call the movie A Murder of Crows.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You know what? I gotta hand. Yeah, I gotta hand that.
That was
That's
pretty
great.
good.
That
Mark. I
gets a
like
golf
I
clap
like to-
from me.
That's a clap
Nicely
on that
done.
one. All right,
Nice.
what's next?
Michael Hamilton spent the weekend volunteering at WonderCon, had a great time. Support your local cons. You'll get in free. Yes, started watching The Boys Diabolical. It's like Looney Tunes, but for adults.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's good.
Here's the funny thing. Somebody brought up to me, say, you're going to WonderCon. Like, I didn't even know it was happening. Like, it just came, it snuck in somewhere. Did any of you guys go to it?
No, and
No.
I love WonderCon, and you know the people I normally do stuff with there. One of them was their son was having a bar mitzvah, so I miss it, and I really miss WonderCon when it was in San Francisco.
Did anything interesting happen at it this year? Did
Not
anybody
that
hear
I've
anything?
heard.
I haven't heard about
I
anything.
would have
coming out
just
of it.
bought stuff. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all I know.
I
And
love
so
shopping
I'm
at
kind of
WonderCon.
happy I didn't go.
You know what, John? I kind of feel that every day on this show it's WonderCon.
It's a WonderCon
wow.
every day.
No, Rob, we
All
can't
right.
name the office Starfleet HQ.
What's next?
From Michael Hamilton.
Or Elizabeth.
Oh, I'm going to switch yours. Elizabeth Arado. This weekend, I went to see The Outfit. Good movies. The best thing about it was that the theater was empty, so when the Damn Nicole commercial came out, I booed.
Boo!
Ooh.
Boo!
That's
Not
perfect.
booing Nicole Kidman, you're a goddess, but
I
boo!
never. Yeah, just don't boo redheads, man. Come on.
All right.
What did I say yesterday?
Because Michael was one we had already done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
What's next?
Remember, Bulldog, today is game day for Moon Knight.
Game day!
What are you expecting in episode 2?
I like what Ray said earlier. I think we're going to get more Mark now. I think we're going to get into Mark. I mean, on the one hand, you can say, but it's still really early in the series. No, it's not. They're only doing 6 stupid episodes because apparently Disney doesn't have an understanding about what a TV show is supposed to be. But 6 stupid episodes. So no, we are a third of the way through the season at the end of this episode. So I think Ray's right. I think we're going to get more into Mark now.
I had one question. Are we to assume that everybody that's gone after Oscar Isaac's character is after that
Scarab?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think so.
Even the dog at the end was after that?
That's
Or was
what
that
we-
sent by someone
well,
else?
the dog is working for
Oh, okay.
Handsome Hawk.
I just
By the
wanted to
way-
get that straight.
Keep in mind that what we're seeing might not be real at all.
Yeah. There's that too. All right. What's next?
From Glenn Mark again. Hi, Rob. The film The Carrie Treatment reminded me of a 2007 movie I studied in film. It was a Romanian piece called 4 Months, 3 Weeks, and 2 Days.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Also dealing with so first of all, thank you for bringing that one up. We talked about. I mentioned the Carrie treatment, which is an obscure James Coburn movie where he plays a doctor and it deals with the issue of abortion. But it's over 50 years old, and Warner Archive is putting it out. It's very interesting when you go back and you look and you see how this particular issue, which is very polarizing even now, was dealt with. And I love that you said that. I want to say is it Christian Munger? I forget the director of the 4 Months. I always get the title wrong. What is the title?
4 Months, 3 Weeks, and 2 Days.
It's a great movie that also deals with that same topic. But you know what? Kudos to you for watching Let's Get Physical Media.
All right. What's next?
Glenn's real sweet and reached out to me too about voiceover, which was really, really nice. So thanks for doing that, Glenn. Dante Strecchia. Hey, Campea Campers. With John and Rob knowing some inside Doctor Strange info, is there a chance of an upcoming topic being about the over-under on certain characters showing up, deaths, etc.? Campea Classroom?
I think so, but we'll probably limit it because listen, we've been very careful to make sure we don't know everything that happens in Doctor
Right.
Strange. There are certain aspects of Doctor Strange we know nothing about. We don't know how certain things are going to turn out, but there are certain things we found out. So we would probably avoid that part. But yeah, I think as we get closer to Doctor Strange, we will definitely do our over-unders about certain things we're expecting to see, maybe see, hope to see, all that kind of stuff. That'll happen. We'll just make sure we avoid the things that we know that we know.
We should start just saying things about Doctor Strange, like
Oh,
sprinkle them into the show, and you decide whether they're true or false.
All right, like when Morbius shows up, big reveal when Morbius shows up. All right, what's next?
Esteban Kibata. Want to know your guys' favorite film cameos?
That's something I'd have to think about. That's not something I walk around with off the top of my head. I mean, one that comes to mind quickly, Matt Damon in Forrest. What's the one that's like
Finding Forrest?
Finding Forrester? That's it. So Matt Damon's little cameo in Finding because it was so applicable because that movie was very much a lot like what's the one he does with Ben Affleck?
Good Will Hunting?
Good Will Hunting. There was such a Good Will Hunting vibe to it. So him popping up in Finding Forrester was pretty cool.
The greatest cameo of all time is Robert Duvall in Philip Kaufman's 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He shows up as a priest on a swing set. It's one shot. They don't say anything. It's just Robert Duvall as a priest on a swing set, and it is the creepiest, craziest, weirdest shit ever, and it's my favorite.
I think Hugh Jackman in X-Men First Class.
That's a good one.
Thunderlips, baby.
Hogan and Thunderlips. There's another really good one I know I've talked about a lot. It's my favorite Stan Lee cameo, though, in Deadpool, where Stan Lee is a strip club DJ, where he utters the lines, and remember, folks, you can't buy love, but you can rent it for $20 a song. It's like one of the greatest lines. That's the best.
I just came up with another one. Patrick Ewing and Fabio in a dream sequence in Exorcist 3.
I don't remember that one.
What?
It's the greatest dream sequence ever put on film.
This is not the other Exorcist 3, right? This is the one that generally
There's
released.
2 Exorcist 4s. This is Exorcist 3, the William Peter Blatty
Big
directed.
Starklighter too.
Yeah. Patrick,
All right, we got to
Patrick
keep
Stewart.
going here, guys. What's next?
From Luis Enrique de la Peña, Chris Hemsworth shared a photo where he stated they'll start press tour for Thor 4. Do you think they'll attach a trailer with Doctor Strange 2 or release it online early?
Listen, we talked about this like last week, and I said there is no way they're going to not release the first trailer for Thor 4 until May. There's no way. It absolutely. By the way, there is some theories going around because he was on. Chris Hemsworth had a picture with, I can't remember who the 2 other people were, where it looks like they're doing like symbols, but if you count it out, it's 4/11/2022 or 4/11/22, which would. So people are thinking that the way they were holding up their hands was suggesting that on April 11th is when we're going to get our trailer.
My
But
mom's birthday.
There is no way they're waiting until May to drop the first trailer. No way. So I would expect it soon. All right, what's next?
From Blake62, I love how much Rob loves the stuff he loves.
And hates the things he hates.
Sometimes they're the same thing.
Sometimes they cross over.
It's a fine line.
Like a bad, toxic, codependent relationship. I love you and I hate you.
Well, it's, but I do. I love the things I love passionately.
Passionately.
I do. I do.
All right, what's next?
CMG2491 just started Winning Time, and it's amazing.
So good.
Fun fact, the actor who plays Norm Nixon is not only the real-life son of Norm Nixon,
I had no idea.
Didn't know that.
but
Ooh.
also played Danny Dyson in Terminator 2. Thought that was funny.
Ooh.
Like
Wow, the kid must be.
Yes.
Wow. But he's really good in it.
Really
that,
good.
That scene, I think it was like in episode 2 where they're at the party and he goes one-on-one with Magic and schools him.
I
That
haven't watched any
was
of it.
You haven't watched it
I
yet?
haven't watched any of it.
It's
yet.
one of the best. It's better than Severance. I mean, it's
Okay.
like seriously one of the best
it
things
is
on TV right
it's
now.
so wildly entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm not a big sports guy, but one of my favorite genres is sports movies. I love sports movies. This is one of the best, most entertaining. It's a sports series ever. Like
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
that was probably Shadow.
Be sure one of our dogs barking. It's no big deal. All right. What's
So good.
next?
We're just ending with a bunch of support from Danny Sanchez, Ostracized Child, and Gina Horton.
Thank you guys for sending that in. And guys, that'll do it for today's episode of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show a part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the super chats. Number 1, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number 2, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget, today at a special starting time, 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, so like less than 2 hours from now, we have our weekly meeting of Movie Club, and we're talking about the Sigourney Weaver sci-fi classic, James Cameron's Aliens. I cannot wait for us to talk about that. I hope you guys will come back and join us for that. Also, don't forget to join us again for tomorrow's episode of the John Campea Show. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. And by all means, guys, listen, you probably noticed we have open channel memberships now. Thank you to all of you guys who have already signed up for them. If you haven't, please consider doing so. It'd be great to have you on board. And guys, that'll do it. I want to thank everybody sitting around the table with me here. We got Robert Meyer Burnett, we got Ray Ora, we got Chris Carr, and we got myself. My name's John Campea. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.